Welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andres. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is the 6th of May, 2025. It's a Tuesday. It's about to be a very rainy week here in Montreal as we begin at, well, it's not the top of the week. Whatever. It's fine. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you are well. It's felt weird, right? Like we streamed so much the last week since Elevation came out, and now things have slowed down and I feel it's slowing down. And the issue is like there's still so much more testing and stuff to do that we just haven't had the time to do. Like there's just a lot more work to be done. It's like the meta is evolving at such a fast rate that streaming twice a week feels too slow. Weird how it is, huh? No more baby face. Hey Phil, I love this Mrs. Clean animation. It makes me happy every time I see her. That's the animation, like, you know, toot my own horn. I really like that one a fair bit. I think it just has like the right amount of movement and color, and it's a really nice opening screen compared to Charlotte, which was like a bit of a downer for sure. How you doing, Phil? Hopefully well. Droids, hey, how's it going? How's the Tuesday? Paul says happy Elevation arrival if you live in the UK. Yo, sick. People are getting their cards in the UK. I'm not sure if that's through the cards.uk, Netrunner cards.uk, or whether it's through the European store, which I think is back on. I'm not sure. Mrs. Clean is the best name. Hey, Brennan, how's it going? It's the Grid. Garrett, good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Funky Man, hey, Dan. Lazy Sub folks, Pauldrix, hey, everyone. How's everyone doing? Slowdown is real. I was away most of last week, and I feel like the meta left me in the dust. It's like, yeah, it's changing. There's a lot of stuff that I want to try. There's still a lot of things we haven't done. We haven't played all the identities. We haven't played all the cards. For those who might know, if you're subscribed to the channel, just yesterday we dropped this like definitive Elevation Corp tier list, talking about the Corp cards with Jeff. Video seems to be doing pretty well. We got like 3,000 views in less than a day, which is pretty buck wild. So far, people are not roasting us in the comments, which is pretty cool. It's actually been like, seems like a lot of people, I wouldn't say agree, but it feels like there's less, I wouldn't say arguing, but like contesting some of these ideas in the comments than what I was used to. Maybe it's just like too new of a meta and it's too hard that people don't feel comfortable. I've got 1 or 2 comments to say like Bangan's not that bad to my response. I was going to consider making this a Bangan stream, but I think there's other stuff we want to do. But you can watch that. Again, link will be in the description, but this came out pretty well. Now the other side, the runner side, which I think is going to be, I know Jeff said more spicy, because I do think the runner side is more interesting, will be up on Asynchronous SC. We haven't recorded it yet. Mind you, we recorded this on Friday before any tournament results came out this weekend. But that might take a minute because I'm out this weekend, so I'm not sure how quickly that'll be up on Jeff's. It might be like a week and a half, so be patient if you can for that, but that'll be coming up soon on Jeff's channel, and I'll link that and I'll let you know as soon as that's out. That's for sure. I wanted to roast, but then I want to be mean. Actually, I know you'll have the version up on your channel of the Corp tier list on, what is it, Thursday afternoon, my time? You can definitely roast a bit away. I think there's some things that we're going to get roasted on. I think some of the HB assets, like, we're way lower than most people are, and eventually that will change. I think even in context of playing them outside of HB, that might change. But roast away, I think it's good. As long as it's, right, like, reasonable. I think the roasting is fun. Back to the streams. Hey, John, how's it going? Andre, I watched your Corp tier list. Hey there, Bray with Jeff, and I had to laugh in the Wayland section. Your commentary on Vicky reminded me of early Netrunner Wayland's Color Pies cards that are better in yellow. Yeah, like, for what it's worth, I do think Vicky is like a cromulent Corp identity, and I think it is actually kind of fun to play and has a lot of diversity. It just feels, yeah, as I think I made it clear in the video, it's really wild that the NBN Corp identity does like the Wayland thing. It seems better. It seems to be a fair bit stronger, which is like, I don't know, it's strange. I do feel like, and I think that's very clear with this, there's a fair bit of variance in the power level of cards in this set, and especially when it comes to identities, that has definitely given me some frustration, particularly when it comes to like, oh, welcome to a new meta, come out, everyone's figuring it out, the power level is pretty low. It's like, no, immediately there's like 2 corps out, the power level seems so much higher than everything else. And then like tonight we have a casual, we have a GNK, and I'm going out to it after the stream on Tuesday. Come out if you're in Montreal, it's gonna be sick. But like, I don't understand the meta to know whether like I have to worry about playing against Nebula and Oko all the time, or whether people are going to be like, it's a GNK, I'm not going to do that. Because I feel like if I don't tech for at least one of those, I'm going to have a bad time. So I don't know what kind of bad time I'm going to have, if I'm going to have a bad time. And I feel like that's been a bit of a dampener on the conversation for sure. Hey, my Elevation cards arrived today in the UK. Yo, let's go. Great tier list. Thank you, Lazy. Hey, Floating. Hey, Grid. Hey, chat. Jack, how's it going? Got home from work, got me a copy of Elevation. Now beginning to sort out rotated cards and organize new cards during the stream. Yo, enjoy. I think the big rotation, whether you do boxes or binders, but the act of like moving things and organizing things is honestly one of my favorite parts of card games. And unfortunately for Netrunner, it only happens once a year. But just like sitting down and having that, it takes longer than you think usually. And just like putting on, you know, a stream or a video or a podcast and just sitting down and moving cards around, it's like really, really, really fun. I'll dedicate myself to go roast it later today. I appreciate it, Phil. Been out for a few months, but I just heard that all the FFG stuff has rotated out, which means I feel like an actually deck build now. Yo, Narendil, this is like the big waiting point that a lot of people were waiting for, is that, yeah, the big rotation happened. So technically standard and startup, as much as startup was like this, but standard, yeah, actually both of them technically. Standard is entirely null single games cards, which means as long as the store is up in your locale, which in the US it's not, obviously there's some other issues going on right now when it comes to producing cards and stuff. Yeah, you can buy everything or proxy everything, print and play everything, and have a full collection for standard without having to hunt down old FFG stuff, which is super, super good for accessibility for the game for sure. It's such a fun video. Hey, Ren, I have finally clicked start on the tier list video when you went live. Well, the stream, this is 3 hours, so like multi-track drifting, it'll line up perfectly. I want to try Hearts and Minds to get counters on Idios increases. Should it be yellow or green? I don't know. I think maybe you have to be yellow because I don't know why they don't just trash all the Wayland assets unless you're playing like op with measured response. I think, and we're going to go through some deck lists that came up from the weekend. I think one of the things that I wish I mentioned about Idios Increases, and I think not yet he was playing in a tournament, is like in PT and Tien, is like it makes a bit of sense because you get that free advancement. And so it's the sort of like, no matter what happens, I'm okay with this text. And it's only 2 influence. I feel like La Costa also makes a bit more sense of that card, but that's a card that I'm definitely not giving up on. I think it's kind of interesting. So curious to hear what y'all think of Madani. Yeah, I do think Madani is definitely one of the most interesting cards on the runner side. Hyped for London Netrunner meetup in 30 minutes, although worried all these AO and NBN decks are absurdly good. Kaku, I think with the UK coded jokes, I think Nebula is probably going to underperform considering how much criminal is there. But I think Sokka was at the Reading tournament this weekend and like just absolutely cleaned up playing what Sokka believes are the 2 best decks. And one of them was like a triple nano management Oko. Sorry, Nebula, which I was like kind of surprised, but yeah, it's fine. You have the money. You can't just score out 4 2s from hand, and that's the king making deck. So you're scoring out 4 3s from hand. It makes sense. You have some really strong words about Oko. Do you feel so strongly? Do you still feel so strongly? Sort of. Jeff is like more calm on the situation than I think I am. I think I've ended up in the situation where I have a couple like non-games, it feels like, against Oko. And I do think it's a sort of deck that is pretty, it's going to be a problem for casual play. Like it's a sort of deck that is only going to get better from what I think the versions people know now. And it's the sort of deck that can either snowball games or put you in a no-run situation. And unless you're like teched for it and you're playing a competitively matched deck, and that matchup can be fun and can be interesting and can also be like a bit coin flippy if they get away with early assets or not. Like whether that matchup is interesting or fine or fun versus whether the casual Oko matchup, that is the thing that I think I'm more concerned about, which actually kind of falls outside of the scope of this tier list, right? This tier list was meant to be about competitive play. And I feel like you hear a bit of, I don't want to say whinging, but like maybe some potential criticism about what Oko does to casual play. And I'm really worried about that, where it's like if I go out on Tuesday, you know what I mean, maybe it's pretty interesting. Yo, Vicetron, respectful roast inbound. Auto deserves like twice as much respect as y'all gave it. Yo, Vicetron, I listened to your, because you put up tier lists as well, video content. I listened to all of the second one, the runner one. The corp one I had to like dodge through. I had to jump through. I'll have to catch up on it. The fact that there's like 1-star cards on your tier list that are 5-star cards functionally on Jeff's and I's tier list is just like a really cool thing about Netrunner. I'll be able to try and link them in the description if I forget, but that was a really fun watch. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like modernly I'd rather play Nico than Auto, but I do think Auto will continue to show up in places. But I just think like current HB, I would definitely rather play Regolith or even Humanoid, but I'd rather play Nico than Auto in almost every HB deck I've played to this point. So I'll find out. It should be an op. Hey, Ba, how's it going? I don't know what you're responding to. Oh, I want to try Hearts and Minds. Yeah, in op. Yeah, exactly. I think in op. I might drop a couple of, some people might put this in F tier, but but it's definitely A. I look forward to that, Axu. Can't say I disagree with anything on the tier list, to be honest. Daria, that's really cool to hear. I'm still trying to like hold on to that Phoenix stream, and I know a lot of folks in my testing team like Phoenix. I've been struggling with it, and I think like the Phoenix Oko matchup has been highlighted as actually like a strong point of Phoenix, and when I played it, I thought it was awful, and maybe I just have to consider the matchup on a different angle. But like, I'm definitely gonna be playing more Phoenix for sure. I had fun playing Thunderbolt at the San Diego Monthly. Oh, cool, Flip. You doing anything cool with the new cards? The answer to deck paralysis for a GNK tonight is obviously just play all the tech. Yeah, I know, but like that's the thing. Do I just play good stuff crim with tech? I feel like that's not what I want to do at a GNK, but like that's the sort of thing that will put me into a situation where I think I won't be miserable if I run into the bad matchups and I'm not prepared for it, right? Like it just feels like it's forcing my hand. And I know as a Netrunner player, I am very like I like most humans, I'm very averse of ending up in a negative situation where I've been like, oh, I could have not done this, and then I did this to myself by playing, you know, my tier 2 Dewey deck, and that's the issue I run into. I like metas where I feel like I'm not constrained by that. Think you're way too harsh on Bangan. It's by no means high tier though, but it's no means high tier, but I do think it's like, okay, so the problem with Bangan, if you ask me, and I don't think we're gonna get into a Bangan hole at this point, how's it going, Ochan, is that if you want to build kill Wayland, like modernism Wayland that forks the runner and is going to end the game by flatlining them, I think it might only be the third, if not fourth best Wayland ID to play it out of. Which means functionally when it comes to competitive play, it is a dead card. Right? Like, I think you're better off playing in Zwicky so you actually can have speed so you can lead the dance and they have to catch up with you. I think if you can play Op can deliver a measured response much better and actually fork with assets and traps and tricks and give tags out a bit more consistently with things like a maze, lamplighter, and all that sort of fun stuff. I think BTL could even do that sort of like mid to late game. It's going to be like a double measured response issue. Like, I don't know what that is. And out of the whole list, I think it is like the last Wayland identity besides Earth Station that I would try and do meat damage in. It's very, very strange. There are definitely gonna be decks that work. Even Nuvang is like a considerable option because you just have more money faster as much as your deck is less consistent. But that's like the issue. It's like, if you ask me, if you're trying to build that archetype, I think it is one of the worst Wayland identities to put that archetype in. I think if you take any Bangan deck and mostly just put into Zwicky, it'll be better. As much as you can't do the sort of like, I don't know if you play 3 Angeliques, 3 Amaze Amusements, you probably change the slots, but I think overall that'll make the deck better because you don't just lose on centrals. Did someone say Thunderbolt? How's it going, Bolt the Bird? I think the binder section could have been beefier. Yeah, I think archetype role player slots are hard. I think that should have, our midpoint of the graph might have been a bit too big. I think there should have been fewer role players, more slots, and then less slots, more binder. We might have been too mid heavy. There's a chance. I have to see what Thunderbolt can do now. Before, you were better off swapping to an FFG ID. I think an enemy might be filthy with a little bit of D-res tech. Yeah, I don't know how you have to go all the way for the D-res tech, but the D-res tech, like an enemy, is a really strong point of Oko. It like refills your hand. Like, that's 2 cards. Lose a card, draw 2 cards. It's like, okay. Good list, good vid, but seeing Bite's placement makes me cry. Eris, it's totally fine. It's like, Bite is still going to be a relevant card that everyone's going to know and think about. But like, currently it seems like outside of modernism, where you care about the tags and the hand size and all the, like, you know, Wayland fork, it doesn't seem like it has a place anywhere. But I do think like in a Zwicky deck, playing Bite makes some sense. FFG stuff rotating also makes me feel like Wizards is less likely to cause trouble as they are wont to do. Have they ever talked about what the emergency levers for if they get squirrely? No. I don't think they want to really talk about it. All that NHG has said, citation totally needed, is like they have lawyers, they've looked into this, they're very comfortable with what they're doing. That's all they've said. I have no other like information about that, and I'm not stressed about it at all. Maybe it's going to be people down for a bit until they figure out the timing on when to hit centrals, how their faction prefers to do it, and then get a lot worse. Yes, I think Nebula, so like that's the weird thing is like Nebula and Oko, if you ask me, are very easy decks to build. They were like the fastest decks that just about anybody could build and build a good deck compared to some of the other identities or other identities in the set, which were a bit more difficult. And like what Nebula asks of your opponent is inherently fair, but we never seen an identity that asks that question so consistently and then like doesn't even flip back when they use that. It's like constantly a problem. And now obviously like that's a big thing too, is that in the early meta, the runner decks are bad. And so that is also going to be a question that will change from week to week to week. When the runner decks get better and they cut out all their like, you know, whatever cute cards they're trying out, how does that stack up against some of the like supposedly problematic identities? I don't know. I think Nebula, like if people just realize Good Stuff Crim is the best deck in the format, which it might just be, like Nebula is probably going to be a fair bit worse. But I also do think the ceiling on Nebula to actually present different problems, not just sit there and hope like, I sure hope you can't run this turn. Like that's also going to change, I think. People calling it Oko is so cringe. Pronounce it Oko, I mean. It's like, it gets the Magic players, which is like kind of unfortunate. I'm trying to do Oko, but like, it comes across all kind of the same. Yeah, me baby, one more time. Heliopolis, how's it going? Lost a game to Oko after trashing 5. Oops. I'll bring an Oko and noob him to my casual this weekend, so I'll let you know how much everyone hates it. Yeah, Paul, like, have fun. It's fun to play. Like, that's the issue. It's like, I like playing Oko, but I just know, like, if I'm on JNet grinding as against Oko, like, people are not gonna love it, I don't think. Thanks for the video, excellent listening experience. Yeah, hello from Vienna, Sarkin here. Sarkin, how's it going? Ice Face Vienna, how you doing? I saw that, yeah, the follow on Twitch. How you doing? Some cards are under-tested during internal playtest. Carrie, it's not exactly that. So I know you wrote the comment about like Jeff talking about playtest, and I can't talk about playtest because I'm not a playtester. I like purposely try and distance myself from a lot of NSG stuff just so that I'm able to like, you know, independently talk shit. And sometimes I say the wrong stuff, sometimes I say the right stuff. But just so you know, I want to be separate. When it comes to mentioning playtest and playtesters, firstly, if you want to get involved in playtest, I highly recommend getting involved in playtest. Playtest requires so many people from different skill sets. They need competitive players, they need casual players, they need new players, they need everyone because they're trying to balance everything for everyone. So when people have like, and I'm not saying you have complaints specifically, but I'm saying anytime that people have thoughts about playtest and they're not playtesters, I get a bit frustrated, but that's not exactly the case here. But the idea with playtest is like playtest is really tricky. A lot of these cards will change at different points in the process. I think Jeff mentions this, is like all of these cards Jeff has played with, but there's never been a meta in playtest where all these cards had the exact same text and the exact same number. Usually one thing gets switched and something gets switched, and that can have huge ramifications. Ban lists, things that don't get banned, but the idea is that you can change a number on this card, a number on that card, a number on this runner card, a number on this corp card, and then the value of card X changes drastically. And so having this 82 cards exactly in this formation might not have existed for a long time in playtest. And sometimes it just takes small changes that cause a cascading effect, or public, you know, suddenly once the set is out, there's thousands more games than playtest have ever had the time to do, right? These sort of things do just happen. I think playtest has classically done a great job. The standard ban list team has classically done a great job, but they are limited, and it's hard to like, nobody's expecting them to be perfect on every angle. It's just really, really hard to have every card exactly the way they are in playtesting at all points in time. It just doesn't work like that for a bunch of different reasons from my understanding. Phoenix just runs through any net damage sub and you both mailed the corp decks. Feels great with steel skin. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, so I haven't seen it a lot in my local meta. It turns out some of the Okos are actually playing Saisentan, and that's an issue. Like Saisentan when banned hard doesn't feel good. But that being said, yeah, you do mill them out, they mill you out, and then you're hoping that that actually works out for you. And I can't tell. I think if they're playing Regenesis, it's a bit more tricky because you have to check the table. Turns out locally, they were not playing a lot of Regenesis, so I actually did not have that much threat on the table. But the problem is if you are forcing the trash from hand, you're setting up Regenesis Fujis, and they can score 4 points on the table. Even fast advance with Moonpool on some board states. And that is a problem that I'm perceiving playing Phoenix, but that might not be the real problem. We're playing Thunderball. Next command feels so good. Wasn't running Stego. I don't want to run Stego because it's cursed, but yeah, Next seems like an okay card. It's doing a lot of cool stuff in the meta, as much as some X Moon also helps a lot. Pronunciation guide is out. Yeah, we'll get to the pronunciation guide once I catch up on chat. Mad about poetry, but the accent should mean something just for style. Work is actually making me do work. I'll catch when there is good Netrunner content to watch. I'll catch up later, hopefully. Game of Droids, enjoy your day. As much as you might feel like you need tech to deal with the meta, most regular decks can deal with a wide variety of matchups. The tech just increases the percentage points. You can win without the tech. So I don't know from that, Joe. It's like, I think it's somewhere in the middle. From my understanding, what I've perceived so far is that the techless, you know, abstract corp deck, the corp deck that just is, you know, the archetypal corp deck that has some ice, that has some money and defensive upgrades, that corp deck right now in the meta seems bad. On the runner side, that deck seems a bit better, but the issue is like the corp decks that I'm scared of are the corp decks that are really pushing in one direction, have a strong winning condition, and are doing everything to throw themselves in that direction. And it feels to me like those are the strong corp decks right now. And it feels like having a runner deck without tech struggles against those like very sharp options, like 23 assets, hand pressure, Oko, Hyper Glacier, like these strong different angles. Those I think a lot of runner decks can maybe win against, but they're, you know, you do need to, I feel like, make some good choices in your deck slots that will really help you in those matchups. It feels like the corp decks that are really, really focused are a problem. The generalist corp decks are bad against most runners. And I don't know. That's what I've seen so far. I'm very far from like calling that to be the actual fact, but that's what I've experienced so far. Like, I think if I go into the Oko matchup without like Baya Bands, Azamat, Fencer, whatever you want here, Hannah, like, it's bad. It actually is a bit difficult. Look at the tier list. I think right now look pretty sane. Meteor, how's it going? AUCO, it's easy. Just wrote the name in text, actually. Hey, Jill, how's it going? How's the weekend games? I think you went out to the event, huh? If NSG was going to hit treble, it would have happened by now. Well, sort of, maybe. I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but yeah, I think so. Soccer took Nebula into tournament with 50% crim and went undefeated. Yes, yeah, for sure. Oko is pronounced egg. Sock is an anomaly and should be counted for statistical purposes. I am not a lawyer. You can't copyright rule systems because they're too abstract. You need to copyright specific words or patents, more specific ideas. Rule systems have been found to be too abstract to copyright. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what they found as their results. But I do think sometimes it's like, it's not so much that there's a legal precedent, but more so that the pressure to protect the thing is often like, I wouldn't say not worth it, but can be difficult. Like sometimes it's not attacked through the means that actually will convert, if you know what I mean. The king took the same list and dropped one game. I couldn't play, so I'm anxious. I miss all the learning stuff. I lost the last game to my friend on Jinteki. What shall I do? Vienna, that's way too wide of a question to answer specifically. Do you have something more like specific about the matchup? Why did Fantasy Flight have to buy the rights for the system from Wizards? It was a lot of things. There's a lot of different systems. Like the whole cyberpunk thing is from Talsorian Games. The mechanics come from Wizards from my understanding, but I do think these licensing agreements, when it comes to massive companies like that, I do think make more sense. Like I think if it was $1 million company versus $1 billion company, people might be a bit more litigious around that. But the licensing is a bit more complicated because they were also using like some of the cyberpunk stuff as well. Playtested for just long enough so I can shit talk other playtesters. Holy cow, I just saw that they're putting preferred pronouns on runner IDs. Awesome, that's a great way to filter the weirdo culture world tours out of the game. Yeah, Reddit didn't seem to like that too much, which is not surprising. But yeah, they've been doing that for the set, and I like it a fair bit. FFG made a deal of the IP of Android Netrunner, and then branding with the same name and the similar art to pronoun as such. I'm sad that the two IDs that are double-sided have separated backstory cards. Yeah, I don't know where to store them in my collection, but yeah, it just feels like something you have to do at this point. Easy bag. Getting to test touch-ups in Oko, I have high hopes for Sicko plays. Yo, the really cool thing about touch-ups that I kind of appreciate a lot more is that touch-ups is, I think, a very powerful card, and it'll show up in weird places because what it does is mean. It's rude. It just takes 2 cards out of the runner while also giving you 2 advancements for a card and 2 credits, which is like kind of fine. But the biggest thing about this card is that technically it's more threatening the less cards the runner has in hand. But the less cards the runner has in hand, the harder it is for this to land, which I think is really, really cool. Like if the runner has 3 cards in hand and you want to touch ups to score a Blood in the Water, which is like a really cool line, you can do it. But the chance of hitting 2 of the same types gets obviously harder and harder the less cards that they hold, as much as this could land up with a fast advance flat line with Foot, and you want to get towards that. I think that's really neat. Like I don't know how comfortable I would be playing touch ups when the runner has 3 cards in hand, but sometimes it's the winning play. And then you have to like look at their discard pile and really think it through, and then look at their open deck list and spend 25 minutes, and then run the simulation. Which cards would they not play on the last 5 turns? And then it's neat. It's neat that this card actually scales poorly with the less cards they have in hand. I think that's something I didn't originally appreciate. Do you think Nebula would be balanced if it only gave half a click on the flip side? Then instead of FA, you could half click for half a credit. I think the one thing that I would have been okay with is if Gemalong flipped back. Can I not search Gemalong? No, I guess not. Like, I feel like no matter what happened, if you got the click from Gemalong or you made the successful run, if it flipped back at the end of the turn, I think I'd be pretty happy about that. I don't know if that's a flavor win, maybe because the show is over, maybe we have to get new talent, but I feel like you'd have many more decisions on the runner side if you didn't have to run every turn and if you could come down to running every 3 turns. Right? The idea is like, okay, you can fast advance and then it'll flip back and then you'll flip again and then I'll run. I feel like that would obviously have a huge balancing implication, but I think that would make me feel a bit better and not have that every turn you have to consider interacting. To be like, okay, if you flip, you're going to lose the next turn as well. Because the thing that they can Gemalong into Gemalong into Gemalong, like that feels bad to me, as much as they might not be able to financially sustain that. But yeah, I kind of just wish it flipped back on its own. This is an absurd amount of pressure. The backstory stuff on the back of the IDs is cool. They're going to copy that for L5R, continuation LCG2. Oh, cool. The RPGs I use for custom character sheets with a space for pronouns, anyone who gets their dander up about that is asked politely but firmly to leave, really has improved the quality of my groups. Yeah, no, I think that's a reasonable way to run it. It's not an area major publishers want to tread because it makes them less trustworthy for future deals. Yeah, some stuff is just done because it's nice to do it. I don't know, I can't talk about FFG, but it's like the Weird Al asks other artists whether he can parody their songs, but he doesn't have to. But not having to versus wanting to like do it the certain way that makes more sense. You know, there's a lot of goodwill associated with that, whether you think goodwill has any sort of spot in massive capitalistic entities. Why, yes, we need APOC. How's it going, Kyle? Thank you for making the tier list. I use it as a immutable gospel and correct my friends whenever they're wrong about strength of cards. This is really good because then your friend can show up and you can really dunk on them. Be like, you're really playing that? Well, Andre and Jeff said. Why the low rating on Bankin? I found success with it at NAPD Court and Argus Crackdown. Casper, it would take an entire episode to talk about it, and I think we will, maybe next week. I think I'll try and collect decks with Bangan decks that are supposedly good. The short of the long is, if you ask me, this ability is a defensive ability. It's not an offensive ability, it's a defensive ability. And so you can make your remote server stronger at the cost of like revealing information, and getting your remote server to be stronger, especially in a faction that doesn't actually like score out agendas that quickly. Like if I install advance of 5-3 and next score and I score the 5-3, like I can just let that live. And then I'm just gonna put enough pressure on centrals. The deck has no reasonable economy. The ice suite is a bit of a mess. The kill lines are pretty inconsistent. Threat 4 doesn't work really well with a lot of the agenda suites, so you kind of want to play a lot of smaller agendas like 2s and 1s, just so you can have more bang-in triggers. It's just kind of a mess. One of the big things that you can make abilities like this is where like modernism gets its roots. One of the big reasons you can make an ability like this good, and back in the day Argus was good as much as Argus protects centrals, is that if I can go faster, not this Argus, is that if you can lead the dance, if you can be the beatdown, if you can go faster than your opponent has to keep up with you. I have not seen a Bangan deck that is actually particularly fast. And so the runner has the ability to set up, they have the ability to get their money down, to get their tech, whatever it is. They have the ability to assail centrals. And the amount of time you have to respond to that, you're just not progressing the game forward enough, where this is something that the runner feels like they have to interact with. So they usually don't, and they still win. This is the thing where I think Zwicky is probably a better deck. And I think people have been publishing Zwicky modernism decks, is that this is a fast deck, where like I can put an agenda in the remote server, I can score it while drawing cards, I can push myself forward, and everything I do accelerates the game and keeps me up on cards and credits. And because of that, I will be ahead of you. That it's likely that I'll be on 5 points when you're on 2, and then when I put something in the remote server, you have to run it. And if I can get you into that situation where you have to run the thing in the remote server, that is when I'm actually can fork you and say like, okay, you can get in, but you don't have time to draw up, clear the tag, play around measured response, play around end the line. And like having speed be part of your game plan when it comes to these modernism decks is really, really important. Now, I do think I've seen some Bangan decks that like want to start scoring out really late, that will put a lot of ice down and then have this inevitability engine. I'm convinced if you're doing that, you can probably play that in BTL and have a bit more like, they don't know what's in their remote server because you're not installing a face up. You might have some better ice. You probably have a better economy. It just feels like there's a lot that's missing from this. I think the agendas don't really, especially in the set, don't really support this, and that might make a bit of sense. They have to functionally feel like reprint Atlas and Hostile, and those are not great Bangan cards. So it's really, really weird. I think Wayland has Op has some really cool mean kill decks and can go 6 times as fast, and Bangan just feels like the slowest kill option, which slow and kill usually don't work well together unless you can build towards some inevitability. So the idea is that like maybe you can play Neurospike, put a 5-3 in their remote server, keep advancing it, and then get a Neurospike combo kill. Yeah, maybe that's your Bangan deck. If that's your text though, it doesn't feel like it's doing a lot. Yeah, I don't know. It's just hard. It's just hard to feel like you're playing Bangan and have an economy and have speed while all runners are still pressuring you. Like, what do you do against ice destruction? I don't know. What do you do against like Stargate? What do you do if they just smash into your ice? A lot of that is like kind of rough. The event was fun in my current meta. It's not my cup of tea. I will wait until more deck lists are published before making my judgment on the state of the current meta. Yeah, it's way too easy. Yeah, it's way too early, excuse me. Hey David, been playing some BTL with new cards, and I've been enjoying the new ice balance for a somewhat glaciery feel. BTL got some good ice, and funny enough, not advanceable ice specifically, but like just having Biowack and a 2-1 that you want to play is pretty good. Hola Lunari, how's it going? Touch-ups is real but hard. Yeah, it's trickier than you'd think it to be. In short, you have the right of it. Netrunner was designed by Garfield, owned by Wizards, used the R. Talsorian owner Cyberpunk universe. Yeah, it was a mess of like things tied together. Touch-ups into complete image. Yeah, I don't know if Matt, you said it in the comments, but that is a line that you can do. The issue is like that still doesn't consistently do 5 damage, and you need to advance your agenda up to 3 advancements, which is not a super common play pattern because this is a double. So touch-ups into complete image will do 5 damage. Maybe if it's a Fuji, you can do more damage, but it's still tricky. Touch-ups beat Steelskin, which is worth something, but it's not like a line that I think is like first order optimal. Maybe you can do it with tempo with like see how they runs in Alco, maybe. I'm not sure. Touch-up is in complete image. Let's go Hyobu. Yeah. There's a fair bit of Hyobu support in the set, but Asmodee licensed Netrunner for Wizards for 10 years. When the license was up, Cyberpunk was going to be released, which meant that the option to make their own Netrunner was more valuable. Yeah, that's actually a really big part when it came to the discussion of losing the license. It wasn't that they lost the license. I think to renegotiate it, it cost more money than FFG was ready to pay back in the year. We'll never know. This is what I think I've heard. And that was exactly the point where Cyberpunk 2077, the video game, was meant to come out. So I do think there was interest in actually having a Cyberpunk card game alongside it. That was before I think it got delayed a couple times. And then obviously the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 was a bit of an unmitigated disaster. as much as I do believe people think they've clawed it back a bit. Goodwill sure does exist on a company balance sheet, from an accounting perspective at least. That's good to hear. For what's worth, I think Jeff is right about Plutus. Yeah, probably. I do think that Plutus is way more fun, and I think I'm getting fun clouded. I was very clear about that. Like, Plutus has been doing stuff in my decks, and it's been a really fun card to include, but at the end of the day, there might be a better way to spend 3 influence. I wouldn't be surprised. I've been playing a Bank and Modernism deck with 3x Tranquility and feels pretty fast. I just am pretty convinced, Malt, that you can play that deck in any other Wayland and it would be better. Just about any other Wayland. Like, Trank and Op is also cracked because you can fire it like twice on their turn, twice on your turn. That's also the biggest issue, I think, is like Bangan screams I'm the kill deck, which, like, there's a truth to this too with Argus, but at least Argus had good text that protected all centrals. But the idea is, like, against every Bangan deck, if your opponent's not respecting measured response, what are they doing? The thing is, like, does measured response kill you in assets op? Yeah. Does measured response or bite mess you up in Zwicky? Yeah, probably does, because that deck is going fast, so you have to catch up with it. You want to be like the car dropping mines behind them. You don't want to be the castle planting a mine in the center and be like, well, hope you don't get in. And it's like, well, you planted a mine in your castle. Effigy Asmodee cannot spend more money to renew the license, so Netrunner, Android Netrunner, no longer could be produced. I feel like there wasn't much actual support for the idea. Maybe it's coming. I think so. I think I don't. This wasn't in the video, but I think I had a conversation with Jeff, and like, the thing that I think the agreement came down to is like it's easy to make Bangan good. It's just the sort of cards that would make Bangan really good probably don't make sense in a core set environment, like public agendas, things like CityWorks Project, right? Like the sort of limited slots that NSG had to reprint the Wayland agendas to replace system update and the rotation. Like they needed an Atlas reprint, so they needed a dividends card, and they needed a 2/1, like a hostile reprint, so you can res the Biowak. And that's what we have. But like a card like CityWorks Project or something like this, that when you advance it, it gives you good value. Like imagine you had Oaktown Renovation. This is what you need. Actually, imagine we had, and this would be a bit gross, imagine we had Underway Renovation, right? Okay, financially you have a problem advancing it, but like it's possible to make cards that make Bangan a menace where you have to deal with the agenda. That's another one of my big Bangan issues, is you can just let them score out the agenda. It functionally doesn't matter that much. But like Underway Renovation would be disgusting if you feel like you have to run it. How will they pay to advance this? I don't know. But the fact that if this is on the table, you keep getting burned and burned and burned and burned, you have to run it. And that's when the ability actually starts to matter. But the thing is, like cards like Underway, arguably Oaktown could make sense, but CityWorks make no sense in the context of Elevation as an evergreen product, which will be someone's second product on top of System Gateway. So I think in the future, like there is definitely a bright future for Bangan, just like there's a bright future for a lot of the identities that don't feel like they're immediately landing. It's just in the environment of the smallest standard format we've seen in a long time, alongside a massive rotation and a core set that has to be focused. There are a lot of the weirder niche, like kind of specialty playstyles might not get the support they need. So just keep that in mind. Can you print a 5/3 from Wayland that simply tutors one card on score or steal? Is that too strong, too weak? What do you mean, Spark? Like Eminent? Or into hand? Yo, see my copy of Millennium Blades I ordered when you recommended Age Goes just arrived last night and played with some friends. It was so fun. How many player count did you play? I'm glad you're enjoying it. Millennium Blades is totally fire. I had no doubt you like it. I'm glad to hear that you did. Time to play Mitosis Bangan. Honestly, yeah, maybe. Like, that actually is fine. That's the sort of click compression you need. Mitosis Bangan could make some sense. Plutus is goated and gonna find a way to 4-star one way or another. I hope so, Tron. I'm with you on that. I was killed by touch-ups and Azyef, a neurospec against Bangan, but I think it'll work well if decklists open. Oh, that's neat. Yeah. Azyef is neat. That's the thing too, is like a bunch of the lists I've seen that are playing Bangan are playing 5/3s only. And I think that's probably wrong for a couple reasons. Firstly, whether you're playing measured response or not, I don't even think is a given. But like threat 4 is really bad when you're playing like 7 agendas, of which most of them are 3-pointers, because they spend so little of the time on threat 4. In theory, I feel like you should be playing more 2-pointers. Technically also, the cool thing with Bangan is if you put a card in your remote server, that's where it's protected. And so you probably want to do this as many times as possible. This is where I'd like actually be like interested in playing Off-World Office and putting that face up in the remote server and saying, okay, I will either score that and gain 7 credits, which you need, or you have to run that. And I want Bangan to fire maybe 2 or 3 times a turn or a game, not once, where they get to 4 points, run the remote server, and the text doesn't matter. Right? Like that's another big issue, is that I think smaller agendas make Bangan a bit more reasonable. The same way that we didn't play Argus we did not play Argus with all 1-pointers, but we also didn't play Argus with all 3-pointers. We played Argus that had 10 agendas in it, sometimes 10 to 11, just so that ability would be more relevant. Obviously this is better because it works on centrals and there's a downside to that, but I do think a lot of the fundamentals in the Bangan lists I've seen like don't make a lot of sense to me. If Nebula wasn't already so pushed, Plutus would be amazing in Nebula. I don't even know. I think Vladislavsk City Grid is like kind of comparable. Like I don't know if you need to. Silk and Black Panther from Marvel Champions just arrived at my house. You're like maybe a couple hours away, and it's so frustrating being a content creator of Marvel Champions, which I'm only slightly, because we do not get the stuff. We do not know how much later we're gonna get the stuff, and then it makes me like I social distance from other content where other content creators put out their stuff to be like, oh, here's the new set, here's the new cards, the new heroes. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch this because I want to play it on my own first and then watch the content. It's like isolating in so many weird ways where it's like, I don't have the stuff, I can't make the content, and I can't participate in the environment, the culture currently on the internet because you know what I mean. Underway would pop off so hard. It'd be really, really gross. That argument is why you should probably have a more useful ID if it's a core set. Well, the thing is, like in a core set environment, this is a really good identity to like remind people what Wayland is doing. I have no doubt people will get into the game because of Bangin. A lot of people will pick this up and be like, oh, BTL was a bit of efficiency, but this is cool. And they will really quite like it. There's also a chance that Bangin just is more consistent in the core set environment because there's less tools to deal with it and everything is slower. Like this will work different. But I do think like showing Wayland is about damage and installing things face up and being blasé makes a lot of sense to give the vibes in the core set that you probably wanted. So like I hear you, but in standard it's different because standard there's a lot more options. In core, I think Bangin is probably like fine. Probably fun too. What do you think the next cycle Wayland ID would be then if it had to support Bangin too? I don't think the ID would have to support Bangin. I just think we need to see some cards. The thing is like if the new cycle comes out, if it's like 120, 130 cards, like just like 2 or 3 cards that support Bangin, even if they don't synergize well with identity, would be totally fine. I think we just need agendas that matter. Ice that maybe matters. I don't know. Ice that scales the amount of upgrades you have. Ice that hurts the cards in hand. Like I think a Phonatria type effect for Wayland would make a fair bit of sense. If it scales like with the run subroutines for how many cards the runner has in hand, like actually attacking the runner for running with big cards in hand makes a fair bit of sense too. I think there's a lot of things you can do. But I do think the agenda slot is really, really difficult. I think Alice with 1 counter is a 5/3, but also triggers on score. Could either get the counter or force you to pick immediately. I think Alice with 1 counter is a 5/3. Oh, yeah, that would probably be okay if you could use the counter whenever you want. If it's on stolen too, though, that's a problem. That seems really, really good. We did 3 players. It was really fun, and we were already planning another game night. Oh, sick. Yo, enjoy it. Really, really enjoy it. Millennium Blades is pretty special. Can you install an agenda face up with Bangin and Mitosis? Yes. So anytime you install an agenda with Bangin, no matter how it's installed, you're allowed to install it face up. You don't have to take the basic action to do this, from my understanding. So when Mitosis says install 2 cards, you can install them face up if they're agendas. JNet asks you when you install anything in the remote server, it's like, this is not an agenda, but yeah, you're allowed to install anything no matter how you install it. You could do some really weird stuff. Doing well, Spider. How you doing? Nice shout out to Millennium Blades. Also, the designer Brad Talton is an Albuquerque local, and he's such a nice person. It's like really weird that the way that Level 99 does their stuff, because Talton seems to be one of their lead game designers, but he's also like doing their social stuff. Like he seems, it's probably a small company, but I've seen him do way too many jobs for one person. As much as I'm a big Millennium Blades fan. Reliving the need for GFI. The perfect Bangin play is slamming down the 2 face-up false leads and killing off your 3rd face-down Azef in the 1 in 20 games that happens. Wait, what? How's it going? Maybe Daniela to punish the steal more? People are playing Daniela. People are playing Daniela. People are playing Amaze. People are playing Takana and Enemy. All this sort of stuff is like, okay. I just think like the problem is not the problem in Bangin games is that you over index and you make your remote server too strong. I've done it too. My remote server is like Maze Amusements, it's Angelique, it's Daniela, and it's a 2-content enemy, and people are just like, okay, I'm gonna Stargate you, you'll lose. Like that is the bigger issue. I think people spent too much on the remote server. When in theory, if the remote server is just like one shitty ice, Daniela, and an Amaze Amusements and an agenda, unless it's game point, people won't run it. And then the issue is when it's game point, then your remote server falls apart because it's like you have to survive the damage. But then there's no consequences of starting your next turn with 17 tags and no cards in hand. Right? Like it's all sorts of weird. There's all sorts of problems. Silver lining is that Silk and Shuri are sick. I'm excited for both of them. I feel like I'm going to like Silk a lot. And Shuri has some really good tech cards. Passport, I can finally make the plans for Continentals. Oh, sick. Really good to hear, Joel. Figured out to run a Crim versus Alco. You run 2 consoles. Whatever you choose in Demolisher, you run 1 Azimuth, and they can't play the game at all. I think running 1 or 2 Azimuths makes sense. 1 Azimuth maybe at a minimum, because you don't install a lot of your other programs, but that's very quite good. I don't think I'd go as far as to play Demolisher, because I think it's kind of comparable to other assets you can play, and Demolisher is like, what, 3 influence? Or sorry, other tech you can play. Like I'd rather play Hannah. I'd rather have some card compression. There's a lot of other things you can do. I think Nebula should not be a core set identity. Well, I think that's a power issue more so than the card pool. Like in core set, how often does Nebula flip is another problem. Do you wish the NSG printed some cards of Liberty for older or less supported IDs or strategies, a bit like something Yu-Gi-Oh does? Oh, Chen, I think they do. It's just like they don't do it obviously, right? Like your Digital Life is one of the most busted cards in Cerebral Imaging in Eternal. I don't know if that's what you mean by older, but they do that all the time. They do that somewhat consistently, right? Like you could argue Petty Cash is a modern card, but like, oh, how good is this in Mirror Morph? Yeah, that's pretty good. So, kind of. I just don't think there's anything they can do to bring Hyobu or like DreamNet back, or sorry, GameNet. But I also think they don't want to, because these should probably not exist. Banging his 10-10 themes, no note. Audacious money laundering and murder in broad daylight for private companies. Yeah, no, I agree. It's a good theme. Really curious, lore-wise, of Bangun is simply anticipating disasters and waiting for them to happen instead of preventing them or actually causing disasters so they have something to save. I read the back of the card, I don't remember, but I think it's somewhere in the middle. Clearly it's Yu-Gi-Oh, but yeah, direct support is sometimes needed and can be a fun boost. But I also think they have that. Like, I think if, like, for instance, how good is, we're going to be playing Az today. And how much support did Az get from the set? Turns out a lot of support from the set. And that's by just printing a couple more connections and jobs. Like, it can be that easy. Maybe that doesn't seem direct enough. But like, I do think you get some support. Cost it's Tsunami. Level 99 is great. I really like their new spectacular game. My gripe with level 99 is that their games are generally very, very good, but their graphic design is not. A lot of their graphic design seems like really kind of amateur, unfortunately. It does not make me happy with the product itself, but the games are generally pretty great and pretty interesting. They have really good ideas. Yeah. I have a lot of L99. Oh no, I have a bunch of L99 stuff, not a lot. People are building clown cards and losing essentials. That's on them, right? Yes, I do think that's on them. And I think that's the weird thing about Bangun. Lacoste has been really good for me in Bangun, not playing any defensive upgrades because your ID does that, so you can put effort on centrals. I like Lacoste, and I think that's the thing that you have to solve. Like, I don't know, maybe I like Seamless Launch. But I think the problem is like spending a turn just scoring at your agenda in the remote server doesn't feel like it does enough. I think that's why you can consider playing Tucana, and Tucana is pretty good, but like, it just doesn't do anything quickly, and maybe Lacosta makes it quicker. Maybe Tranquility makes it quicker. It's hard to tell. And Tranquility actually might make a fair bit of sense too, because it's in your remote server, and so people can't challenge it because it's on top of an agenda, and so people don't like to run the Bangun server. I don't know. I think Bangun win rate would go up 10% if people stop installing Eminent face up. Yo, Warlock, how's it going? That happened to me. I was playing against a player who was the first time playing Bangun, and they installed Eminent face down on turn 1, and I'm like, I ran it, they res dice. I'm like, oh yeah, that's okay. I was like, you can't res your Anthill anymore, and it was an Eminent. I'm like, okay, that wasn't okay. I guess, yeah, because I think they did petty cash into it, so they could res it. And I was like, no, maybe not. I forget what it was. Maybe they could res the Anthill, but yeah, I was like, oh, you installed that face down. That was actually a lot better. Like, installing cards with face down is funny. How powerful it is in Bangun, because people expect your agendas to be face up, which gives it like the perfect cover. It's surprisingly the best thing you can do is ignore your identity ability on a bunch of board states. Just like the same thing as with PT. It's like a lot of times they have an agenda in the remote server and 3 cards in hand. Not advancing it is the best thing you can do if the runner can get into the remote server, because they probably don't run the remote server. It's like so silly that your text and context that you can ignore it makes the text more powerful. Very goofy. I think it's a little of column A and B given Sansan grid as MBN and not Wayland. Level 99 has some issues mistreating their employees and mismanaging their sales. Guilty Gear board game has serious card back issues, and they failed to deliver replacements for most affected customers. Oh, that's not great. I guess that's Exceed, right? Oh no, maybe there's an actual Guilty Gear game. Anywho, we have some news. I caught up on chat. I did it. So let's talk about some stuff. There's a couple articles that are up, some really interesting stuff. First thing, the pronunciation guide is up right now, and this is awesome. So it goes through a list of things. This is from Ginevra. And so a bunch of different ideas. Some of these are like texts from names and stuff. Some of these are from like flavor text and from the narratives on the back of the cards. So if you're confused where some of these words show up, really cool thing you can do if you don't know about it. Apologies, I'm not set up to actually like put this in, but IPA is the International Phonetic Alphabet. So if you have an IPA reader, this happened in the last set as well. You can open up this. You can pick your language technically. So we're going to be doing it in English, and you can pick your voice. So there's a bunch of different like, oh, we can hear it, how it sounds in Australian. And then you can just copy paste in this sort of like IPA pronunciation, and it will read it to you. So if you struggle to, figure out what this exactly means, I'm with you on that sometimes. But that's a really, really nice way that you can just have it listed out to you. I've done that for everything here. I'm not going to do a great job, but it'll push us in the right direction. So here it's Ryu Ono, I think is that from Japanese. Topan, no surprise here. Hantu, no surprise. Pawang and Omash. Omash, mind you, was like the group that shows up in Topan's story. Muslihat, pretty easy to say, honestly. I was told this in comments that Sung Conchel, Sung kind of more like the U sound, and Conchel, which is kind of cool. So Sung Conchel is sick. It is Dewi, which is great. And then the last name is a bit harder. Subrotopotri. When you put this into the IPA thing, it nails it. So I'm not gonna do a great job, but it's definitely Dewi, not Dewey. I do think that maybe a couple weeks in, people have already locked it in a certain way in their heads, and that can be kind of difficult. But yeah, Dewi is great. This one's actually a fair bit harder than I thought it was. This is Magdalene, and it's Kiino. There's like 2 syllables here, Kiino, and then Chemutai, and I think this is also 2 syllables with that like long I kind of sound from Swahili. Madani has a bit more of an accent on this. It's not Madani, it's Madani, which is subtle, but everybody I think will understand you here. This is from Bahasa, Indonesia. And then Azimat is more like Azimat than Azimat. Azimat, which is great. Poetry, as you would say, poetry, stylization for foreign words for branding purposes. It's pretty funny, but yeah, it's not poetry. It just looks nice. This did not pronounce the same way that this pronounced from the IPA, but Ingatan, I think is how most people have been saying it. It didn't seem too far off. This sort of like N with the little like hook on it shows up in a couple different things, and that's the sort of like NG sound that I do think shows up also in Vietnamese a fair bit. Boomy is boomy. The Mercia or Mercia is the way that's pronounced here. This one is frustrating. Oko, as you would say the letters A and U and the abbreviation co of company. It's an initialization and an abbreviation. So in theory, it's AUCO, which like, I don't think I like saying that. I don't think I like saying Oko because it sounds like magic. So AUCO, but yeah, AUCO, I guess. I don't feel great about that one, but yeah, I don't know. We're going to struggle with that for a bit. Untian is weird. It's Untaiyan. Untaiyan. I think it has the extra syllable there. It's not Untian, but it's not too far away from Unshan. So it's Untiayan. Something like that. I need to rewind these and go through it. Speaking of rewind and go through it, oh my god, does this seem like impossible to understand, but it's not meant for you to read. So Fut is Fut. Fut Zwan. So not Fat John, Foot Swan, and then it's a bunch of syllables here that I didn't think they'd be in here, like Bautisita, Bautisita, Foot's on Bautisita. I've been just saying Foot. That's been landing relatively well. I think if you say John the Baptist, people will know, but Bautisita, I think we can do that. But Foot is great. This one's cool. It has some sounds that kind of just disappear. Kind of feels like a Banhar sort of thing. So Samak Samun is how we've been saying it, but it's Sama Samun. Sama Samun. So you don't get that K in there at all. I'm not sure exactly what this symbol here means, but if you put that through the IPA thing, it's Samasamun, which is nice to say. Daojen, how's it going? Mitra Aman. I don't think I put that into the pronunciation. That kind of looks like it should be, or sorry, wow, the way that we've been saying it, the way that it should be. Gamilang, Gamilang. I do think that is a big me. I don't think that's like 2 syllables, so not Gamilang, but Gamilang. This sort of like NG sound shows up in a couple things, like langit, and I do think, yeah, you get the ngit, like you do get that GEE sound in this, so I do think you still have that there. Milang. Bangan is Bangun, which is so much more fun. And that's that sort of NG sound that shows up in a couple other things, but Bangun. Zwicky, German, I believe, yeah, I've heard Swiss German, but that's Zwicky, not Zwicky. So this being a V makes sense because you don't have W sounds in a lot of the sort of Germanic languages. That becomes a V usually. So that's Zwicky, which is not the way that I've heard anyone else say it, which is wild. Plutus, no huge surprise. Biowak, no surprise. Shailendra, we were luckily told how to pronounce that earlier. And then Makota, Langit. Langit. I need to put that back into the machine to learn how that is, but that's Makota Langit, which is a lot of people have said that in different ways. I don't know if there's any words that I'm missing on this that I think should be on this. This is a lot of work to put together. I'm glad it's definitely out. Shout out to Ginevra. That is not a German word. No, but it's a name. I was pretty sure Zwicky was... that is the name of the stream. I think Zwicky is Swiss, yeah. So I'm not sure where the name comes from classically. Yeah, Frit, it's Zwicky. So it's from here. Yeah, it says it's German, as in where the pronunciation comes from, at least on Good old Wikipedia, Swiss astronomer. Oh no, it's still not a short I in Zwicky. The main difference is how you've been saying is that it's a sharp Z. So think Zwicky, not Sawicki. Zwicky, Zwicky, Zwi. The sort of Zwi sound shows up in German a fair bit. Even in like Slovenian loan words from German, the Zwi shows up a bit. Yeah, it's a name. It's not a German word. It's just a name. Bangun goes hard. Bangun is sick. Oh, the sound of net damage hitting you. If you want the link on Discord for what you wanted, thank you, Daijen. I think we're gonna start with some ads. If we have some time, we're gonna be playing some Bangun. We talked about Bangun a fair bit today already. Vietnamese is a hell of a language. There's some really cool sounds in it. Eric, how's it going? I listened to 90% of the podcast this morning while doing some exercise stuff. I enjoyed it. I actually very happy that you described the sort of like rules complications with that one L5R card, and I was worried you were not going to explain more of it, and I want to hear more from Nick. I'll bother Nick about it. You can leave off the co and just say ow for short, and that doesn't feel too bad. We shorten a lot of corps to 2-letter phrases. Yeah, right. Maybe you're onto something there. I'm playing ow. Yeah, maybe that lands better. I just think like this is a fun word to say. Oko, like Auko. People like saying that. And that's like a win for having an identity name that people want to say, that they don't want to shorten it. Even like PT, I'd rather say PT on Tian, Un Tian. Like that's just kind of fun to say. The I is definitely not E. Overall, it's similar to sickly, except over the course, except of course with the W in there. Zvik, Zvikat. Zvikati, what does that mean? In Slovenian, you have that sound, and I think that's what I'm doing. Zviki. Glad you enjoyed it. It was silly fun. Yeah, I'm glad you recorded as fast. Auko delivering net damage since 2025. How's it going, Zeke? Cool. This also came up, and I think this will take a lot of time to like go through this, but this is sick. This article came up also on the front page. Getting started. These are sample deck lists for not only System Gateway, but the core set environment, which is System Gateway plus Elevation. And this is something that I've already set out to do to some extent. I want to see how different these cards are, these decks are. But we have been putting up like deck building 101 series decks in which we build a PD deck or a Zaya deck, and I think we built an RH deck too. And I want to see how different these are. So this is really cool that you can get recommended decks. I hope that this is appended to the Learn to Play guide, so at the bottom they can give you some cards to play. Let's see how much different that is than our deck. Oh, it's already pretty different. They're a fair bit more card draw. Not that different. Buzzsaw, Carmen, Marjana. Uh-oh. Buzzsaw, Carmen, Conduit, Leech. Okay. So I don't know what the intentions are for NSG. I have no doubt this is a playable deck. I'm in the camp. Yeah, playing Buzzsaw makes sense. I think Leech is the best card. Single Conduit's really good. I don't think you play Marjana at all in this format. I do think you spend influence, especially with one influence left over. Like, I do think you can put some Cleavers in there. I think Cleaver Leech is the best Fractor suite in the whole game, and unfortunately, I don't think you play this. I don't think there's anything that's missing very obviously, but I have to compare the two decks. But like the double Docklands, 3 Penny Shaver, that's really, really good. This is the card that's super cuttable. I don't know what we did in the VRcation influence slot. It definitely wasn't VRcation. I think we're also playing 1 telework, something like this, but this is a reasonable starting point. I don't think you'll go wrong playing this. Let's see what PD looks like. Hopefully it's on Anoetic. It's not NSG. Give the people what they want. No, it's Erdica Cypher PD. NSG, what are you doing? You gotta teach the people about efficiency. We're playing Erdica Cypher PD with 2 Seamless? NSG, no, it doesn't have to be like this. The agenda suite is like the agenda suite that I would recommend playing, which is great. So you don't have to play the 4-2 that gives a tag. No Spin Doctor, also pretty wild. But 3 Nico's great. No Regoliths? Wait, what the heck? NSG, what's going on? How are you not playing Regolith? Is this so that you can build all the decks at the same time? How is there a System Gateway deck without Regolith in it? Wait, what? The Regoliths are only in... No, you can't build all of these. They all have Spin Doctor in them. NSG, what's going on? This deck doesn't have enough money. It's playing government subsidy. No. That's on. I'm not reading that. Okay, White Space is legit. They didn't play a Code Gate slot in PD. I think that's what you want to do. Double Brown is cursed. I think Brown is like the best dice in the format, but they're playing 1 Pharaoh, so I guess that's fine. 3 on sale, 3 Tithe. I play 2 on sale. It's a bit expensive. Good card though, in the format. No Anoetic. Double Managarm. I think Managarm is the best card. These decks make me upset. They're not bad. They're definitely fine starting points. And I'm glad that, like, I don't expect NSG to be like, this is the busted best PD deck. You have no reason to build anything else. For what it's worth, the 101 deck building series has really good decks. Just to be like, this is the best you can do so you can play better Netrunner. But yeah, some of this is kind of weird. I would not recommend this deck quickly. I think Erdica Ciphers makes no sense. in the format, the context of this. Yeah, kind of weird, but I'm glad they're putting something out. Yeah, strange. Yomi's alive and well, my friends. Advanced Yomi. Okay, we're playing an advanced deck. 3 Clearinghouse, 3 Urticas. We have Regolith in this, so we can have money. Like, this deck is fine. 3 Tithe. Yeah, good. We're playing 3 Tithe in HB, right? Yeah, of course we are. Good. Is there an explanation of the decks? No, I don't think so. I don't even know if they're up on Netrunner DB. I imagine they are. I mean, for reals though, when are you going to have the other card gamers guess how good Netrunner cards are? Oh, that sort of content? I don't know. I think a lot of other people have done that content. I don't mind that content. I watch that content myself. It's not something I've really been interested in making, but I do like this sort of like, hey, we asked, you know, Hearthstone players what they think of Netrunner cards. It's fascinating. I think this is the deck that should be playing Urtica Clearinghouse. The thing is, like, this deck should be playing Neurospike. How is there Neurospike in the core set? You're advancing Urticas and you don't have Neurospike in the deck. And you're playing 2 Send of Messages. I don't get it. Maybe they're perfectly tapped into the casual player's whims, and Urtica PD is something these folks will like. I think Urtica is like a card that does excite people. Like, it's a fun card on both sides of the table. Like, I don't want to undersell Urtica, but like, you have Neurospike in the core set. Maybe they don't want people to die to, oh, you didn't run double Neurospike. I just like this fork that makes this real is Neurospike, because then they actually have to run things. I don't know this. I ran into these years ago looking for SG only SG21 decks. Weaver, these are from Netrunner DB and have an explanation there. Wait, no, but these are not the new decks. Are these Gray's old decks? Because I'm pretty sure Gray posted a bunch of deck lists that were just core, but that was like a really long time ago. I don't know if they posted on behalf of NSG. Let's see if we can find them. If we just do show card packs, none. I don't think those are those decks. Maybe they are. I don't think they are. These are those. Oh, so these are not even new. So now I'm just dunking on Gray. Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah. Okay, they are. So these are not new ideas. That's super surprising. Okay, so there's at least a bit of text here. In System Gateway, HB excels on never advanced strategy. You can use the card Seamless Launch to score an unadvanced 4-2. Every unadvanced card you install could be an agenda, or perhaps it is an innocent Nico, or even trap the Urtica Cipher. Later in the game, you can affordably advance the Barrier Pharaohs into Impossible Expensive Wall. This part is a series of deck lists to get yourself started with deck building. Okay, for what it's worth, like, not only is as Crit in my testing team, but they're a really good Netrunner player. They came second at Worlds, but I would recommend something different for sure. I think I want to play Regolith. I want to play defensive upgrades and play PD. Like, I think you'd expect PD to play from that point forward. But yeah, this is fine. This is fine. That means that the other decks are new though, because these decks are not new. So that means that these decks have to be new. So we can maybe be critical about them. Why not post lists that have elevation cards in them? They do, these ones. Sorry, Eric? They are new decks now though, combining elevation. Yeah, those are the old ones. I'm like, so it looks like these were just drudged up. NSG, if you want different deck lists, you want help with that, hit me up. But yeah, there are new ones with elevation, and there's a lot more of them, which is not surprising. There's a lot of different identities. They posted one called Bowel Movements. All right, NSG, let's play Bowel Movements. 2 maintenance access, 2 ritual, scrounge, sure gamble, Lou. How many cards is this? I hope it's 40. It's 40. It is on Netrunner DB as well. Oh, there's a click through on the bottom. That's sick. Hold on, I'd rather read this on Netrunner DB, I think. BM. Why though? This is from Gyro. Okay. Anarchs love to eat corp cards, and Lou rewards you for doing just that. This is from NSG Core. Oh, I saw these getting posted a while ago. So you're on Cacophony, Cookbook, Rent Riders, Verbal. It's hard for me to look at this and be like, wait, what's in Elevation and what's not, or what's in Core? We're on the Buzzsaw single Hantu with no recursion, so you can't really break that many sentries. I don't know how big of a deal that is in Core. The fact that you can only break one Biowack might be a problem. You can scrounge this as long as you can trash this, which maybe is your way around the format. And also with Leech, that could do something for sure. Gourmand, Fermenter, Botulus. I think Botulus is really quite good because your breakers aren't. You want to have a good reason to run. You're on triple carnivore, 40 cards. Your card draw is pretty verbal, I guess. This seems fine. I think you can play this for sure. Not sold in 3 Cacophony, no, but it's more so that people get their powerful win cards. Like, I think this happens a lot in decks which are targeted towards new players. It's like your flashy, interesting win condition piece. You don't want somebody to be in a game where they don't draw it and they don't feel like they're having fun, so you give them 3 of it. I do think, yeah, later on you'll cut this because you only need 1 copy, but you need to find it. But yeah, that's something that can change. Because Lou is food-based theme? Going to the sewers with maintenance access. Carnivore? Yeah, Carnivore with Lou, like, it is a way to fire your ability. This card hasn't been particularly super popular in Standard. There are definitely other options, but in the core set, it's like, do you play Bling or do you play Carnivore or do you splash your console? So Carnivore, like, makes sense. Arguably, do you have the card draw to support this? Lou gives you a card back, which is nice, but Carnivore is like better than it looks. It's just like for Standard, it's a bit rough. This is one of the few ways you can trash agendas, which I don't think totally matters, but it's kind of fun. Azimut's good. I think you'll have an MU issue for sure. But you don't want to install everything all the time. Jaro's spoken a bunch about these lists being suboptimal as a feature, not a bug. They give new players room to prove them. Exactly, yeah. Like, I'm not surprised. The triple cacophony. I'm more surprised with not playing Regolith because, like, Regolith allows you to play the game. Is if you're a core player and you don't have money, you stop making interesting decisions. So I'm a bit more critical when they don't have money. But when it's like, yeah, we put too much pressure, it's like, oh, people like that a lot of times. Yeah, that's cool. I don't have Carnivore. I think it makes sense for Audrey in a no imp world. I'm like a bit on the fence about Audrey because Audrey needs cards in hand and Carnivore needs a cards in hand. And so I feel like you run out of steam, but I haven't tested it. I don't hate Carnivore. Yeah. It's nice that it's like one of the ways now with Gourmand being less able to trash more cards per program, having additional like something like this could make some sense. Especially also because Gourmand gives you card draw back. So the idea with Lou is you draw 2 cards with Gourmand. It can make some sense. Carnivore could cost 2 credits and still wouldn't see that much play IMO. I know it's pretty bad. It's not that bad. It being 4 is a bit much. I think if this was cheaper, it would help a lot. But I think the card's better than it looks. Are these all from Gyro? Dashing Mad, Anarch, it's Phoenix. 2 Charm Offensive, Jailbreak, 3 Lilos. I guess card draw, what do you play? Like VR-cation's more influence. 2 Overclock, 2 Scrounge, Shred, Sure Gamble, 2 Detente. This is the easiest card you should take out of the deck and make it better. Detente is really quite bad, even in Phoenix. I'm cutting it from every Phoenix deck. Run Rider, Side Hustle, Smartware, Verbal. Verbal does see play. Smartware still seems to see consistent play in core, which is kind of interesting. Breaker Suite is 2 Unity, 3 Rising Tide, 2 Carmen. It is really rough to play Phoenix in a card pool that doesn't have Banner or Banhar. At least you have Botulus. Maybe the ice lines up a bit more consistently against Phoenix where you can let subroutines fire. I imagine that this would be more, maybe not more fun than Bowel movements, but it would actually be like pretty fun. It's cool that there's like 1 for every identity. Yeah, it's just 1 for every identity. This is Topan. Gonna be hard to see what Topan wants to do in a smaller card pool. Bling with DZ is a really sick interaction line. I'd actually like Bling with DZ a fair bit, just so most of your programs actually draw cards. I do like this a lot. I do think if you can install on the runner's turn, or sorry, on the corporation's turn, this gets even better. So by playing Gachapon and stuff like this. But Bling DZ is actually like a really fun engine together. This needs to be played more. I like it. We're on Echelon Unity. We have no recursion for these, so you can't lose them to Topan or you're kind of cooked. That stresses me out. You just play them first. And then it's just like the good stuff Anarch package. Yeah, I feel like this version has literally no win condition, but like probably has money and stuff. I feel like every time that I build a deck, I need to have multi-access in it, and I worry that decks like this, they just don't have multi-access. Oh yeah, you have Scrounge. You're right. You can just Scrounge in core. It's probably slow enough. Yeah, I feel like you need at least 1 multi-access piece. What is the multi-access piece that you can play in core? What is the Anarch multi-access in core? Is it just Cacophony? Yo, Team KF, how's it going? I've been really appreciating Kikai streaming on the Team KF channel. I think that's been really, really fun to watch. I haven't watched any live, but I've watched all of them in the recordings, in the VODs. I did have to get the moment where I clicked Detente and lost 1 out of the 7 axes to lose the game. So I don't know. Detente is funny if nothing else. When your opponent installs a Detente, it's like the best card they can install for you. I play Crim. Is Recursion a new card I haven't heard about? Yeah, I don't know. I think you need multi-access. This feels way too much like it's just going to try and win on singles, which I don't know if you can do. Maybe you can in core. Saya, Conduit. This is what I mean. You need stuff like this. We're on 3x Marjana. I mean, this is not Moosely Hot. Okay. Criminals on 3 lie low, a ritual, a single scrounge, sure gamble, jailbreak, clean getaway, 2 manias accesses, 2 penny shavers, Game Dragon. Game Dragon, mind you, if you're playing Game Dragon, I'm assuming that you want to play not Unity. I actually think that you want to play Carmen and Buzzsaw, maybe Echelon, but I think they scale so much better than Game Dragon than Unity does. That's Marjana probably would want to play. If I'm playing Game Dragon, I want to play Kurapira too, I'm pretty sure. So I would probably move some stuff around here because I do think that Game Dragon doesn't work that well with Unity. Maybe Marjana, but probably not. 3x Marjana, Rising Tide, yeah. I'm like, maybe the format's slow enough that you just want to play enough Fractors, but my guess is you just cut this and play Carmen. Or sorry, you play Cleaver, and then you just do Cleaver, Game Dragon, and play Leeches. Like, I don't think you need to spend 4 slots on that, but it's a fun thing to do. Like, it actually would be fun to be like, oh, I'm building my Fractor, I'm drawing through my deck. It's like, yeah, cool, have fun. That seems cool. At least this has a win condition, which is good. Shooting and looting. It's a Musliat. We're on 25 events. Do we have enough run events in the format? It looks like we do. We're on 3 rituals. Okay, 2 shreds, 3 transfers, 2 tread lightlies. I think that's all the run events you can largely play that you want to play. Isn't Cleaver banned? Not in Elevation. Sorry, not in Core Set. Cleaver's only banned in Standard. I'm not sure if it's banned in Startup. I would have to check. I wonder if these are Startup compliant lists. Not putting Cleaver to give players space or realize, oh, I should just put Cleaver in here was deliberate as well. Yeah, that'll happen. I'm just, if you're watching this, I know you want to fast track. Yeah, that's what I would do for sure. Yeah, this looks fun. Again, doesn't have a win condition. I worry about that. I feel like giving somebody a deck that can't see multiple cards besides a single Dawkins Pass. I guess we do have Jailbreak, but like that's just not enough for me. I do think you need a bit more. I do feel like, oh, this is Moosely Hot. Yeah, maybe. I feel like Moosely Hot struggles if you don't have twinning, which you don't have in the format. Okay, Baz. Docklands, DZ, Madani, Baz? That's what we're cooking? That's what we're cooking? Sick. 3 gambles, Overclock with Baz is kind of sick too. We are playing Red Team, Open Market, Side Hustle, Francify Award. This deck should be running Knick-Knack. Oh my god, this deck should be running Knick-Knack. Carmen, Marjana, Rising Tide, Sun Control, 2 Chromatophores, Leech, and Tranquilizer. I think this deck is super overcooked, but like this is really, really rad. Just instant speed triggers all the time. Very, very cool. This is definitely not worth its time. I would want to replace this with do you want to be good? Devadata drones would be good here. I've been seeing Moosely Hot Madani, but not Baz Madani before. You've seen Moosely Hot Madani? Chenchling, how's it going? I would not want to give someone a learn to play deck and say you cannot play this deck in an event tournament. Yeah, there's some truth to that too, but we'll see if the Corp decks play too many 3-pointers. Or not. It's a Dow deck. It's on Game Dragon. Cool. Double Penny Shaver. I like that. Buzzsaw, Echelon, Principia, 1 Conduit. It just seems like a Reg Shaper deck. Nothing too special. Yeah, nothing too special. This is Dewi. Dewi? Wow, 45 card Dewi deck. Never seen it in my life. 3 Fermenter. So this deck is good. Devadata, Chromatophores, Azimat. 3 Mayfly, Principia, Unity, Side Hustle. Doesn't have Muse or Coalescence. Or doesn't have any way to get its breakers consistently. Double Red Team, Open Market. This is my favorite deck so far. This deck slaps. This deck actually looks really fun. Like shit, I'd play this. Yeah, this seems like the most fun deck. I don't know if it has a consistent economy because you don't really have that great knick-knack targets, I don't think. I feel like this deck actually could play 3x Principia. And I think in a world where you don't have Muse, 3x Principia knick-knack makes sense. And then you actually can go out of your way to play the 1x Rising Tide. Knick-knack Red Team values to City. That's what we're doing today in As. I don't think it's that good. I think it's easily over-evaluated because you lose 3 credits on it, but it's really, really fun. Yeah, no Muse, SMC, Colon, Core, of course. Which is why I think you need to play 3x Principia and have that to be your knick-knack engine, I'm assuming. This looks fun. That's a cool list. Sabbatical. This is from Mag. 3 Tread Lightly, 2 Scrounge. Okay. It looks like this is where we play Pantograph. Yeah, that makes some sense. Smartware. Telework, Verbal. Okay. Not a knick-knack. We're on Breakers. We're on Bonchos, Devadata. This looks like the most boring list so far. Kind of not that different than Dow. Probably fine. I worry that Shaper in Core is relatively boring. Like for what it's worth, nobody played Dow because Dow wasn't that interesting, but this just looks like value pile. I think people will enjoy it. Creative Commission spotted. Oh yeah, too. Yeah, so these are not standard legals decks. So they could play Cleaver if they wanted to. That is going to be a bit of a whiplash if you come into standard or startup. Actually, does startup unban CC? It's PD. The Regoliths are back. Hooray. What are we on? Double Anoetic, Makota, Managarm, Mercia, Bran, Kessleroid. Huh. Fly Swatter, Scatterfield, Unsell, Boomy. 5, 9, 10, 11, 13. I feel like this deck might have 1 too few ice. Maybe not. This deck seems fine. This is fine. Managarm, 3 Managarm, 2 Anoetic. This is probably very, very good. Startup unbanned CC. Okay. So they have unbanned Creative Commission. So you're allowed to do it. Yeah, this looks good. This seems totally fine. Cromulent. I would play 3 Rego. Mercia's felt so good against Hermes. Mercia is a very, very good card. Very, very quietly. Fantastic. I'm surprised about this. I'd probably play another Brawn. Kessleroid. I don't know what else you play here. Like, I think for what it's worth, like, Castleroid's one thing. There's not a lot of ice destruction. I do think Palisade's actually relatively good, even in standard, let alone in core. Don't sleep on Palisade. Okay, same agenda suite, right? There's only one good HP agenda suite. Yeah, there's only one good HP agenda suite. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. We're on auto here. Rego. Sure. I would rather play Nico. Hedge fund, nano management, petty cash. I guess we're on 3 Ingoton. Seamless launch sprint. Single seamless launch. Don't love it. Makota, Managar, 3 Mersha. You kind of have to. 3 Brawn, 3 Samaxamoon. I like that a lot more than the other list. Fly Swatter, Scatterfield. We're spending 9 influence on Shalendra. What's going on? 2 Ansel, 3 Boomy. The heck is this? I think the code gate slot, mind you, in startup or in core is like kind of messed up. I don't know what you'd splash in the slot, but like all the neutral code gates die to like everything because there's 0 strength. I do think Fly Swatter is worth playing as a 2 of. Scatterfield's a bit of a nombo as much as it gets better once you trash your Byroid and goes up to 4 strength. I'm very surprised to see this. It's not bad. Like nobody breaks this well, but that's very, very wild. That was someone I want to build with now, I think. Game Dragon Chromatophores, Dow's ability makes for 1 doomed server. Yeah, Pat, but the problem is, and let me spoil your fun, you just play Hermes, you don't have to do any of that sort of stuff. Shatlander with no other advanceable ice is wild. Yeah, it advances itself. But yeah, then it doesn't functionally matter. But like, I don't know what other advanceable ice you play, like Pharaohs. I don't know what the options are in core. Poetry. Let's see if this is different. Oh, same agenda suite. No surprise. Oh no, we're on trend setting. Okay, slightly different agenda suite, no off-worlds. Anteal, Humanoid, Nico, Auto, Hedge, 2 Nano, Predictive, Seamless, top down. Wow, what the 1 Seamless is getting me. 2 Makota, 1 Managarm, 2 Mersha, Brand, Kessleroid showing up everywhere. Mycoweb for 8, Scatterfield, Onsell, Boomy. I think this will actually play radically different than the other decks, which is kind of cool. I can't tell how good this is. My guess is not very. But in a world without Banhar, like Botchless is the only thing that really eats you here. All right, RH Hidden Funds. What's our win condition? Anoetic. 3 Brawn, probably good. 3 Doom Scroll, fucking sick. Hella sick. You have basically Karuna in faction and saying no, I'm playing Doom Scroll is just like peak. Just peak. Just be like, nah. I'm gonna save a credit on this. Kind of fine. 3 Fly Swatters might be a bit much. I don't know what other code gate you play here. I think Diviner is actually kind of fine as well, much as people play Buzzsaw. This agenda suite's fine. Yeah, this is like really inspired. I wouldn't recommend it, but like maybe it's fine. I wonder how you break a 3 strength sentry. Like that is a really good a line of numbers to deal with. Peculiarity. It's PT. We're on Clearinghouse. I think this is the deck that could play Idiosyncresis, if there's any deck in the format that could. Otherwise, it looks technically the same to the other deck. Now it's playing Karuna. It's on white space, 1 Fly Swatter. It's not playing bronze, I guess, but it's on Clearinghouse, so I guess it's just like peak. Like, why have ice at this point? Zviki is 48 cards? Really? This is Alco. How cracked? Okay, it's measured response. It's on bite. It's on FUT. It's playing orbital superiority. It's, I mean, I guess. And then it's just ice. It's just ice measured response FUT. I'm not scared of this, but I don't know how weak core is. That's kind of neat. Reality Plus. Oh, you can still play it. Yeah, it's on bites. It's on Idiosyncresis. It's on auto campaign, but it has no good way of giving you tags besides 2x public trails. It's definitely on Funhouse and 3 pings. It's on a single Scatterfield, which I think is pretty sick, and Doom Scrolls are really good ice. Neat. The agenda suite's like relatively okay, as much as I don't know how you score out this. It's on 2 Amaze too, which is nice. Makota on top of Regolith is actually like really good in the format, let alone every format. All right, Nebula not so subtle. So it's on 3 embedded reporting. Next big thing offered off as headlines. So the fact that it doesn't have too many 3-2s, as much as this is as many 3-2s as every Nebula has, you have to score these out. It's on Plutus instead of like Nano Management, which I think Nano Management makes less interesting games, but you can score out a 4-2 from hand. So I do think it needs to build a remote server. It's on Hedge Fund, Peer Review, Petty Cash, Predictive Touch-Up. So it does still have a bunch of events, operations. The Makota, I'm not sure what it's for. Resing Ice, because it doesn't really line up well. I guess a Plutus for 5 trash is something. Fly Swatter, 3 End Pot's good. Doom Scroll, Lamplighter, Tithe. Not sure where you're meant to put this. Maybe in front of your Plutus, can't tell. Tithe is really good in a deck like this, in this format. Synapse. Okay, it's like kind of NBN. This feels very similar to R+. Yeah, very, very similar to R+. What are you getting with Malapert? Neurospike? 1x Neurospike? Weird. All right, Zvicky 40. No, this is BTL. This is the Idiosyncresis deck. Nice that it's seeing play. It's on a single Anoetic Void. It's on Kesselroyd Pharos. So this is a legal deck construction. Flywater, Swatter, Shalendra, Ballista, 2x, 3x, Boomy. Yeah, this seems fine. This is the Bangun. 3 off the books, 3 off World Office, 3 Orbital Superior. So this is like the cursed 10 2-pointers list. So it's really hard for them to win because they have to score at 4 agendas. But this is what I mean, that you get the Bangun text more active on more turns. Yeah. Okay. If you can beat measured response, this deck doesn't do anything. Just don't eat it to a bite. Don't run last click. This bite is actually really, really scary. When you're on threat 4, the bite on centrals actually feels really, really bad. That is the only mean thing the deck is doing. The Singleton Clearinghouse is kind of cool. But I do think the deck needs Regolith. I think it just needs to get money up because measured response for 10 credits is a lot. That is a lot of money. And then finally, this is the Vicky. Yeah, 48 cards. Add your favorite card if you want. Above the law, green mail off the books, off World Office, Singleton, send a message. Then this is not too uncommon from like what Wayland Agenda Suites used to play back in the day. You play 1 3-pointer as much as it was global food. We're on Plutus, we're on Hedge Fund KPI, Peer Review, we're splashing, Seamless, we're splashing, but it's not a transaction. Petty Cash is good, Malapert is great, good enough. 3 Baron, Kessleroy, Fly Swatter, Shandlander, Bewhack Tithe. I would definitely play this. Orbital to Retribution because Endaline isn't there. Yeah, but like every deck you saw on the runner side is playing Scrounge, so I don't know what that actually does. Did we mention the lose deck name? Yeah, we did. This is cool. It's a really good initiative. I hope that these are easy to find on like Learn to Play page or somewhere else. I do think these decks could maybe be revamped, but they're probably designed with specific goals that I'm not sure what they exactly were. In terms of like making the most powerful deck, that's definitely not the goal there. So maybe these are playable against each other and they feel fun and balanced. And I think that's probably what you want to go for as opposed to like, this is the tier 1 deck. Last news part. Hey, this got posted in The National, which I believe is a Scottish newspaper. Edinburgh to host world's biggest card game championship. A volunteer-led gaming organization is deep in the midst of planning a 300-person world championship tournament in Edinburgh later this year. And so it talks about NSG, who's obviously running Worlds in Edinburgh, and talking about, you know, organization. This is the photo from Worlds last year from the volunteer gang. That's me, next to Eric Hayden, a lot of other nice folks. And there's some like quotes. I don't know if these quotes are from this or from something else, but there's a bunch of people that I talked to, like Jeff, Chris Dyer, Ed, I believe his name's come up in here too. Albagu Bright. I don't know what that means. But yeah, this is really, really cool. Pretty sick. Proin highlighted Edinburgh's range of amenities and tourist attractions that visitors can easily walk to, adding Edinburgh has a ton of ways for people to travel into the city, along with a strong local scene to help us find volunteers, venue scouts, and evangelists for the city. Scotland was an obvious choice for us in terms of selecting the city we thought people from around the world would be excited to travel to. Amen. The 2022 and 23 World Championships, William Huang, who's based in Toronto, that is factually inaccurate, is looking forward to coming to Scotland to reclaim his crown. I'll definitely be coming to Scotland to try and win a 3rd time. An exciting time for a game after a big rotation. I'll look forward to competing. So it looks like, yeah, they're reaching out to get modern quotes, which is pretty sick. I've never been to Scotland before, but I've had great things about the community there. So I'll be sure it'll be a great time. Very, very cool. Most of these decks look sick for into player level. I wish I could buy Elevation. Yeah, soon for sure. Edinburgh, my favorite place to visit in the world. Link to this, yeah, let me post it for sure. I was in Edinburgh with my partner after Worlds in Barcelona, and we had a great time. We played no Netrunner, but still just had a fantastic time. Edinburgh is really quite nice, especially at that time of the year in October where it's like cold and rainy. There's still tourists, but it's not super, super busy. I liked it a heck of a lot. By Ali Reese. Very, very cool. As a Glaswegian, Edinburgh is my least favorite place to to visit in the world. All right, cool. Let's do some deck building. That's all the news today. Great stuff from NSG, getting that article up, the pronunciation guide. Very excited for this. We'll be back on Thursday to do the deck list of the week. I don't think Pat will be joining us on this Thursday, but we'll be playing some JNet for sure. New runner deck. Let's do something strange that I've wanted to do for a bit. Let's play Criminal. And not a new Criminal, we get to play some of the old IDs now. Now that we've been playing Elevation for a while, we can go back and revisit some of the old identities and the sort of kind of gifts that they've gotten in the last set and the rotation. And this is Az has been my favorite. The naming convention between Baz and Az, that's not my favorite. And now we have a second Az based name that deals with hardware and running and stuff like that. But this is the first job resource, connection resource, or piece of hardware you install costs 1 credit fewer to install. And we actually got a fair bit of jobs in the last set and a couple good connections. And the idea is that we're not going to be building exactly a Baz deck. We're going to be building an Az deck. And we have some cool cards to do that. Firstly, we have Open Market. This we can install for 1 credit, which is nice. And then with our other jobs and connections, they come down for free entirely with ads, and we save credits on the open market. That's kind of nice. So we're going to play 3 copies of this. Then we're going to be playing all the nice connections and jobs that we want to play. So we can play 3 Class Act. We can now play 3 Red Team. And this is going to be a card that we can maybe afford for 1 credit on turn 1. If we do open market into Red Team, we are off to the races. Because open market comes down for 1 credit, we take 5 credits for the Red Team, and then we start running. We're going to play 3 Chesva because we're going to be running central servers, and we're going to use the Chesva credits, I'm pretty sure. And then the last thing I want to play is Knickknack. Because Knickknack is a connection that costs some influence, and it says the first time each turn a run begins, you may trash one of your other installed cards. And already with Class Act and Red Team, and even an open market with 1 credit left on it, we have some pretty reasonable triggers for Knickknack, as much as Knickknack is also a connection. And that should be the basis of the deck. And then from there, we're going to attach on top of it the Masterwork engine, and we're going to try to figure out what other things we can sell to Knickknack to push us forward, and hopefully we can be run-based as. Crim is the least strange deck you can play in the current meta. Yeah, good stuff, Crim. Like red Crim for sure. But we're going to do something weirder, I think, for sure. And I want to try this Knickknack Class Act. Oh, the other card we want to play is Side Hustle. Another card we can get down, and if we want to be running every round with Knickknack and with open market and all this other sort of stuff, we can get Side Hustle down on turn 1 for 1 credit. And if we are the sort of deck that wants to run all the time because it's playing Masterwork, Side Hustle makes a lot of sense. So this is probably our economy package. I haven't played Side Hustle yet. I do think the card is pretty good if you're playing against assets. I don't think it might be good enough if you're not playing against assets, but this is the sort of deck that definitely wants to use this. I don't think we're going to sell this to Knickknack. Love that Red Team has a 2 credit discount and it's still almost affordable. Maybe a 1 credit discount, or maybe a free credit discount. Maybe not 2, but the idea is with open market, we can install no open market and take 5 off of it to dunk the Red Team, right? Like you can just free install the Red Team off of the open market turn 1. Even then, does running make a lot of sense? Hopefully we have the Side Hustle for that. Classic Knickknack running fast with petty cash. Wait, what? I really want to see Alarm Clock with Knickknack and Side Hustle. It's not a bad option. Alarm Clock often gets cut from some of these decks. It's nice in as though, because it's a hardware and because we want to make runs so we can get our Masterwork triggers. Hear me out, Jaichinho. There's no shot because I know this will be way worse than everything else that you can Jaichinho in. Ola, I know it's not optional, but the artist with Julie would be kind of fun and different, or Julie with her sister to make free runs. I'm not sold on a lot of the sisters. I think Debbie right now is actually really quite good for a lot of reasons. We probably don't play enough run events. I think Julie Moreira Lee feels like a lot of effort to get, maybe the meta is slow enough for this to be good, but the issue with these decks is they're already kind of convoluted, that they don't do a lot unless you get all the pieces in a line, that adding a 3rd piece you have to get into line feels pretty rough. And then the biggest problem with the artist is it's 5 influence. Like even in Shaper, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Would we play it if it was 2 influence? Yeah, maybe, but 5 influence is just like a lot. It's a lot of influence. The last card I want to play is Knickknack. I can read that 2 ways. Looking forward to that runner tier list. Okay, so then we're gonna play our hardware engine. Let's just play the cards that we want to play. Sure Gamble, we definitely play. We definitely play Bravado. We definitely play 3 Boomerang. We're definitely gonna play 3 copies of Clean Getaway. I'm not sure if there's any other run events. I'm assuming we definitely play 3 copies of Open Market. Not Open Market. I always think Transfer Wealth is called Open Market. Transfer Wealth with 3x Boomerang in the deck seems pretty reasonable. Can we do Penny Shaver instead of Masterwork? As isn't married, he can check out other console partners. The thing is, Thanos, as soon as you do that, you don't have... Well, then we don't play Chesvas. And I think, well, maybe you do. Yeah, let's try it. Fine. Let's just play run-based criminal. Let's play Penny Shaver. I don't think that's a terrible idea. We won't play Masterwork. We might play Q-Loop. What's the win condition? Probably you have to end up getting twinning with your Chesvas. I'm assuming we're twinning Chesvas. The other thing is like Knickknack probably doesn't have enough value on its own. I don't know if this is worth it, but like playing Prognostic Q-Loop and using the Chesva values, that would be pretty reasonable. And then we can use that to install, like we actually could play, what's it called? Prognostic Chesva. And then how many influences, like, I don't know. Do you install Poison Vials and use 2 counters and then like sell it to Knickknack? Like maybe. Do you actually like splash for Coalescence, which is what, 2 influence, and then just get these off the top? John, your list got eaten by the void. For Magic, the World Championship is invitational, so it's smaller with many brackets beforehand. Sorry? You're not really leaving 3 credits on Red Team. When you sell it to KK, you're getting the money you would get up front instead of success plus 2 extra credits and a card draw. No, Lars, 100%. But the thing is, like, people feel like, oh, I got 5 credits, but functionally Knickknack only gave you 2 credits, right? Like, that's all I'm saying. It's not like, ooh, Red Team got me 5. No, it's Knickknack gave you 2 credits. It's not, it became a 5 credit card. It became a 2 credit card. That's all I'm saying, is that it gets over evaluated. Is Manuel with transfer good? I think Manuel is only good if you consider, if you want to float tags for the whole game. Manuel, just to fire once into transfer, means like you can just play DECKLISTS pass and not worry about any of that stuff. I do think tag-based criminal like is a thing that worked in the last meta. Whether it works in this meta, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's worth that much. Oh, we'll play 3x bio bans. As much as that runs into problems. Like the issue now is we're gonna have red team on centrals and we're gonna have these run events and not know what to do with it. Could Toolkit be a nice knickknack target? Penumbral? I don't know, maybe? I'm like running HQ to install this and then just installing this, getting 3 credits off and selling it. Like maybe we could do it. Can you choose whether to see the top with a loop before you knickknack? If so, that's hot. Yeah, you should be able to. The first time each turn a run begins, prognostic is the same trigger. Yeah, so you can actually see the top of the deck with a knickknack and set it up, that is pretty cool, isn't it? Would window help with hardware and program installing? It does, but the issue is if you play window and then you play prognostic and masterwork, which is a lot of what the Azes did, you are constricting your slots. Now we don't have that problem, but when it comes to like playing a lot of hardware and programs so that you can hit the masterwork, that becomes an issue, is that you just dilute the deck. Because anytime prognostic whiffs, you actually lose a lot of value, a fair bit. Play knives? I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I want to. 2 Chezas, 3 transfer, a buzzsaw, gambles, boomerang, 2 boomerang, an Az, 2 bio bands, 2 mutual favors, classic, demolisher. Oh wow, open market, bravado, azuma, penny shaver, penweave, Fran Sophia. 2 paladin, 3 glide away, mag electric. I think mag electric might make some sense. If you have a class act down, it becomes less hot. Yes. Prognostic class act is like kind of cursed. Or like card draw while he's setting up the top of the deck. Twinning for open market. Yeah, we have Cheza for twinning. Definitely going to play 1. We'll probably play DECKLISTS pass because we can. Issue now is that we're at 39 cards. We have no breaker suite. So I think we'd have to just sort out our breaker suite, and we have like a marginally run-based criminal that's like probably comparable to any of the other good stuff criminals. Like I think we ended up building like good stuff crim. I do think we might want to play Leech. The issue is that Leech competes with Cheza, but like red team, we need a reason to run. There are enough 2-costers for Hushuk. I'm not into this card. I think if you're playing Hushuk, you really need Hermes. You really need Hermes to play Hushuk, is my read on it. What are we not playing that we should? So what's a breaker suite? Like maybe we can do 1 buzzsaw, 1 Kurapira, Codegate breaker, probably Shibboleth. And then we can play a single game dragon and call it a day. Yo, Alec, how's it going? I guess you can choose to sell your class act so you draw into the card on the top of the deck you want. Yeah, I want to sell the class act for sure. Game dragon, yeah, I like game dragon a lot with buzzsaw. Actually, I think if we're playing, oh, sorry, not Shibboleth, Carmen. I think there's a reason also not to play Carmen, but to play the revolver. You don't have a killer? Yeah, sorry, I put 2 code breakers in. Building as with a Q loop or masterwork feels like a wildly different from usual style. Yeah, Spark, and I think that's the idea, is that this is not hardware as, this is connection as. This is job as, where we want to be running cheaply with side hustles and red teams and this sort of thing. Imagine landing Hushuk into reprise. That would be pretty sick. Let Audrey be brave. 14 runs might make the Sun console real value. This is the thing, the Sun console that I don't get. How good is this breaker? In its base case, it's not that much better than playing any of the other breakers. Like if you can fire this ability on every single run, I don't even think it's that much better than some of the other options you have. Like it's not bad. It's just like, okay, in the early game, I could be playing Shibboleth, which is just kind of comparably, if not better. There's not that many 2-strength code gates in the game. In fact, there's very few 2-strength code gates. But in terms of the Sun Concho, like it just, the good isn't good enough. And then the mid case is kind of mid. Sun Concho is serving Boitada. Yo, wait, I like Boitada. Is there a way we can save clicks on installing all these connections? Yeah, it's called Play Baz. I don't think we can spend 3 influence on illumination, let alone a lot of our cards are expensive. But this is where like why I think masterwork is really important for Az. It gives you click compression on setting up, and that's the hardest part. So like this probably feels too slow. It's probably likely you can just take this and swap it straight into I'm imagining Zaya, and the deck will be better, and then you just play like 3 Carpe Diems. But that is one of the issues. Oh, we need mutuals for sure, because we only have like, well, I guess we have 3 boomerangs, but we definitely need to play a mutual. Knickknack feels low value versus Pally? Yeah, sure, but we're trying it. Like I want to try Knickknack Classic, Knickknack Red Team, Knickknack to open market. Like it seems fun. Az is better than Baz. Yeah, I actually, the more I play Baz, the less I like Baz. I think Az is better because you can be more in control of your ability firing and you can play Masterwork Prognostic, but that is obviously hardware Baz or Az. Yeah, I do think if we played Sable, it would be a bit better. Apologies. I think I meant to say Sable if I didn't say Sable. Yeah, I think if we swapped to Sable, it would be in a better spot. I played Sung a lot. Both cases equal to Unity late game, but finding the vent is harder in practice. Yes. Baz is badass. Wow, the tables have turned. Let's see what this draw's like. All right, this opening hand's playable, right? I would just do Sure Gamble, Side Hustle for 1, Penny Shaver for full, Run Essential Saver. Oh, wait, we have no card draw on the deck. Shit, we have no card draw. Watch boss stream with the most unhinged Baz believers. Wait, on Monday? I don't think I saw a boss streamed yesterday. I think I missed it. I hope he was playing Baz. That's gonna be a fun watch. Also, hi, Ba. Yeah, we have not enough card draw. I was convinced myself I would try 3 copies of Lilo because I haven't played this and I don't think it's good enough. I don't like playing Lilo and Criminal. I think modernly I don't, but I want to try it because I said I would. Okay, we can cut a Chesva. I think 3 Chesva is really, really good right now. Knickknack is card draw, go up to 3. Yeah, but Knickknack is only card draw on certain board states, right? Lilo feels good in the deep dive table, yeah, but that's also because they spend 15 influence on Shaper cards. Yeah, we'll definitely try 3 Lilo here. I just worry that's going to slow us down again in terms of our setup pressure. We also could consider playing Panweave or Wake Implant, which also is kind of reasonable in as. Time to rank Verbal's the neat Lilo. I've been playing Verbal more and more, and I've been liking it more than I thought I would, which is unfortunate. So what are we cutting here? Like, my guess is the side hustles. Maybe we play 48, but like one of Breakers, one Mutual, and 48 feels pretty cursed. Like, how do you play this hand? You don't. You don't play this hand. Okay. All right. Withdraw. Install Knickknack for no reason. Clean getaway. Sell nothing. Okay, next turn we lie low for 4. Yeah, this is not good. We drew our Breakers. We have good economy, I guess. Transfer Lilo to clear. The fact that Lilo like breaks up false lead combos is so fun to me. I think it's an interesting thing to play around. Add a second mutual favor easy. I mean, it's technically not right. I mean, not wrong. Here we do just Sure Gamble Class Act for 4/3 credit. We would draw this. We would bottom a card here. Maybe with Baya Banes with only 2 chests is not that good. 21 events doesn't leave enough stuff to sell to Knickknack. No, I don't think it does. But like, what else could we possibly Knickknack? Like, maybe we have to dive deep into the sort of like resource pit of like resources we want to install and get minimum value from. Like, do we install Fran Sophia Ward and sell Fran Sophia Ward? It just feels like such a non-bow. Do we install Julie, use 3 counters, and then sell Julie? Like, maybe we do in a Knickknack deck. Maybe you do. We could run more Carmen and sell Carmen to KK. Yeah, Carmen's technically like value. Info Bounty is a job. Yeah, Info Bounty might not be the worst either because we need reasons to red team. I don't want to sell Debbie because Debbie sells for 1 and Debbie's way better than that. The thing is, like, I don't think we have slots for Debbie. Yikes. This is why you don't play this. Like, I think all these cards are worse than playing Red Criminal. But maybe we should build into it. I want a KK slider, Debbie. Carmen is technically an econ card, which is hilarious. Yeah, it is technically an econ card as much as it's a really bad card in your opening hand. Can I do a quick self-promo? Yeah, you can try. Selling empty revolvers might make sense to Carmen. It could. I just worry that 2 revolvers we're going to run into in a problem. I wonder if revolver's better than Carmen. I think you need the last, like, fake bullet from the thing. Carmen, like, is +2 in a card draw, I guess. Selling Carmen for 5 will feel emotionally good. Sell your toolkit? I mean, that came up as an option. But I'm pretty sure this is like comparable to playing Julie. Sandwich chipping in a Carmen after a run to sell it next turn for 5 credits. The draw is fun. Yeah, that is kind of neat. I posted one of Jesse's alternates on Vancouver and NPC event page. It's the participation prize. If you buy early, get a foil version. Hold on. Say no more. Vancouver is soon. Oh, sick. Whoa, that's really cool. That's a shred. It says Terminal 7 on the guitar. And this is East Van. And I don't know who this chicken is. I don't trust it. That's really cool. Really colorful. That's sick. You can get a foil version if you register early. This is again from the what's it called? This is the Nationals equivalent, if I'm not mistaken, from Jesse Juice Turner. Super cool. It turned out really, really nice. That's sick. Yeah, that's a really good altar. I like the color a lot. Yeah, it's from the Mega City. Yeah, that's really cool. It turned out really, really great. Asmon Pula, can we swap into weapons? Mega Electric, Poison, Valor, Revolver are all okay hits. The thing is, like, Asmon disappears when Asmon's empty, and I think Asmon is just like kind of a sleepy card in general. I don't think our deck wants to get a Mega Electric. I don't think our deck wants to get a Poison Vial. I hope everyone's been praising you on the turnaround for the tier list video. It was a good turnaround, Jeff. It was faster than I thought it'd be. But the feedback has been like, I don't know, Jeff. Maybe we did too good of a job that the feedback has been like, no one's fighting us. I do think we're going to wait for other tier lists to come out. Should buy an event ticket, yeah. Event runners have solved the players won't register problem. Bribes. It is that simple. Vizarum is open. I don't really believe in Vizarum and Criminal when we can play 3x Boomerang. I do think Purging is slightly harder in the format, but it's like, I'm not sure what we're targeting with this. And it's also like, not that we knick-knack it, but of course we don't. A really cool thing about Boomerang, notably, that I'm excited to play is that if they deaden a Boomerang by like overinstalling the ice or refusing to res the ice, you can knick-knack your table Boomerang. You won't get it back in rotation, but like, that's kind of sick. I think another thing with Az too is that we should consider is that the back is a card that you could consider playing again. I don't know what we got to make that the truth. I think like Gourmand is the recursion engine. Elevation is a difficult set to fight over. Yeah, for sure. What's annoying is like the playtest group has like decks that there's no big competitions. I guess there is a big competition next weekend. But a lot of the decks are just like sitting in you know, private containment where people haven't like shown their cool stuff yet. Thanks, Eris. Enjoy the rest of your day, eh? Glad you can make it to a stream. All right, I don't know what to do here. Do we have enough trash? No doubt. I back Gourmand for Mentor in front of a friend in Crim and it felt okay. Yeah, and you can also like back, I guess, Rent Riders. Like that is technically a cromulent connection for Az, I guess, as long as the game is slow. Like bringing all that stuff back into your deck is like, maybe we don't have time for it, but it's kind of cool. There's definitely some targets. Won't influence for Knickknack be worth for Ghost Tongue of Miami? Ghost Tongue, I would say almost never. I think Ghost Tongue's ability compared to Miami is hilarious. It like does not line up really well. I think Mystic maybe, but we probably shouldn't be playing Az with 21 events is more likely. The thing too is like, we're not trying to figure out the best deck. We're trying to figure out a Knickknack deck. So if at the end of the day that says like this deck is bad, we should just be playing Reg, Mystic, Paladin, Az. Like, yeah, I'm kind of agree with that, but it's like not exactly what we're trying to do, right? Hey, Vaughn, how's it going? How well do you think this does against Alco? Not good. I think Side Hustle can help. I think we could maybe play Debbie in this version. That could help. I think the fact that we don't have Masterwork doesn't means we lose Clickless Draw while running, which is not good. Penny Shaver is not bad. Our deck has Class Act and Lie Low, which is okay. Biobands is pretty good. So I would say in the middle, but not fantastic. Ghost Tongue and Miami. Meeting of Minds time. I don't think we have anything we want to get with that. You need Azamat. I'd argue that Criminal doesn't need Azamat, but Azamat definitely helps. How about cut the twinning by a Cheswa, go all knickknacks, no multi, see how it feels? I think that's going to feel worse because I don't think actually knickknack fires that often. Okay, how do we make this more knickknackable? What are things that we can sell? We don't need Game Dragon. We don't need to play. We could save 2 influence here. We don't need to play Biobands. With 3 Cheswa made more sense, but we don't need to play 3 Biobands. Biobands is a fine card though. What could we possibly sell? Jeff, I know you built a knickknack Criminal deck. Is there anything that I'm missing that's obvious? Knickknack is definitely the sus card here. Sure. But it seems fun. Knickknack, Concerto, Orca. Okay. There's nothing to sell. I would argue there's not nothing to sell. I think we can sell basically every card here besides Side Hustle. And don't sell the twinning probably. But like, what else could we possibly sell? Like maybe we don't need to play Masterwork and just get more cards on the table to sell. Like maybe that's actually the truth. The artist is 5 influence. I can't do that. Yeah, selling Stranded Boomerangs is fun. I like that. But I do think we just need to play more things that we could sell. And then maybe we could consider the 3rd knickknack. Okay, what can we sell? We can sell a different worst console, okay? Like prognostic Q loop also makes sense with the deck because then we can use Chesva to install cards and sell cards. So we get how much influence is a Principia? Is it the same as Muse? No, it's cheaper. Hold on. But yeah, this is what I mean. It's like we probably shouldn't play 21 events so we actually can play this sort of like goofy engine. So I'll put some run event for things like Telework, Rent Riders, and Julie. Yes. I think we probably should, but I think we need the click compression of like prognostic Cheswa because this is a reason to run, and I think we need a reason to run. I think that's the biggest issue. We don't have a good reason to run. I hate that we're cutting the cards that are the run reasons. I don't think Hulu makes sense since you're paying extra to install. Yeah, but off the top of the deck. Click compression is really good, but Cheswa, you don't care. Like installing off the top of your deck is really, really good. Because our draw sucks. We're circling back to window of opportunity. Well, sort of. Cole is only 2 influence. Yeah, Cole might just be better than all that other stuff. And we just play like 3 Cole. Wait, how much influence is this? 6, 12, 13, 14, 15? We'll have an MU problem, but don't worry about it. Like, we're getting somewhere with this. We're definitely getting somewhere. Slot it back. I would consider the back. I don't think we have any back synergy in the deck, though. It seems like a solid set of targets. You got like 12 targets. Seems like firing 8 times is probably what you'd expect. But yeah, Cole seems worth thinking about. Yeah, especially with Prog. I don't know if we can play Simulchip, but like at least this is something. I would feel okay about Penny Shaver here. Prognostic has, I think we just have to cut like a bunch of events. Poison Vial with Revolver is a killer. It's an option. It's definitely an option. I just think that's going to add deck slots where we need to remove deck slots. Oh, Biobands. Yeah, right. We have to cut Biobands. Ooh. 3 Cheswa cutting Biobands? That feels bad. That feels really bad. Melandrogem would be nice to sell. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe we can use 1 counter on Melandrogem and just sell it for 4. Can we charge the Coles? I don't think we want to charge the Coles. We want to knick-knack the Coles. I don't think charging the Coles does anything for us. It's like spending a card for 2 credits, right? This is where you end up cutting the pinhole and then just having a terrible time playing against Oko. I guess we have to cut this. Like we probably end up cutting resources. We're at 48. Actually, I could play this. Okay, this is our opening hand. Do we keep this? Hell yeah, we do. Triple red team. They're not unique. No, we probably don't keep that. Okay. Will we keep this? Yeah, this is fine. This is fun. Sheer gamble, red team, run essential. We would draw first. Okay, that's bad. Draw. Too many run events. It just feels so like. Look at our engine go. Meeting of mind buys you influence. Okay, hold on. Connections are virtual. So the problem is we have a lot of jobs. Like open market is not. Red team is not. Side hustle is not. We actually have very few connections or virtuals. Kyle, right? Like this is not a connection. This is not a connection. This is not a connection. So we only have 3 Class X, 2 knickknacks. It's pretty bad. Dayton, I rather play any other card. Why don't you play Shaper if you force knickknack and Cole? Because the fact that we can fire red team, side hustle, the fact that we have all this like run synergy with prognostic Penny Shaper, that's the reason. There's a chance it's a better engine than Shaper. I think it easily is because you have Muse, Coalescence. Like knickknack makes more sense than Shaper. This is not going to be a tier 1 deck. This is just a fun thing to do. Yeah, we would hostage knickknack if we could. Unfortunately, we can't. Okay, this hand's fine, right? We would do open market. I wish, wait, Lilo, you can't go 50-50, right? No, I wish you could choose 2 options that it was like draw 2 cards, remove a tag. Oh man, that would be way better. I would love to be able to clear the 1 tag, but I think we can float a tag maybe. I would just do Penny Shaver for 2, transfer wealth, huge credit swing, clear a tag, install open market, next turn, draw 4. Yeah, we're kind of gaming here. How long is it going to take to find a knickknack though? A bit. With 1 connection in hand, meaning of the mind only costs 2. If you add Julie and Rent Riders, you get more connections. Yeah, but like, it's like add 7 cards to slot out 1 card. I don't get it. Well, Lilo would be cracked if you could split it. Yeah, it would be like deuces. It'd be good. It'd be really good. Clear tag, draw 2 for credit. Okay, this is the hand we want in theory, right? Red team. I guess we would clean getaway something first. Oh, probably not actually. We do red team for 4. We'd run. That we probably have to draw there. Like, this is the start we want. Next turn we drop Knick-Knack. We probably run red team. Oh, Knick-Knack's only the first run of turn? Oh, man. Is Knick-Knack better than just running NV testing? Yes. No, I like card draw. We'll try it. There's something to this. It's gonna be more fun than good, hopefully. New runner deck. As. I just want to see what it feels like to sell a class act for 4 and a card. That's all I want to do. Let's do it. Is Jaina good today? Bangin'. Okay, cool. I've been talking shit, so people want to show me what's up. Hey, best of luck, have fun. We don't have really strong win condition disruption, so Bangun is definitely going to hurt a bit. So, let's see if they keep or not. Feels like a lot of installing a classic the next turn for the same amount. I'm not sure what you mean. Alright, this hand's actually kind of fine. We have no burst economy. We have no way to force the transfer on turn 1. I think you want the Cybernetics to draw us cards. Yeah, Zenith might be worth it because we're drawing a lot with red team. I could say they're making a lot of sense. It's a nice slot in As, in theory. Anyways. Yeah, that's probably worth a slot for sure. So this is where like side hustles in our hand, and we need to make 5 runs, but we don't have any good runs to make. Transfer is the best card in hand. We could just like take no money. Sorry, just take money class act for 3. And then just have too many cards in hand. I'm rooting for Bangan here. Yeah, kind of am too. Let's see if they keep or not. They're thinking about it. Did we DC? Bangoon. Summon direct access. I haven't seen the Moosely Hot decks play direct access. Which I do think might like maybe is worth something. It doesn't do much against a lot of the best corps right now, but it does do a lot against some corps. Yeah, okay, hey, no stress. Yeah, there's a bit of lag, so. They kept, okay. And it looks like Edward is keeping a hand that's on the edge. Here, we don't want to float the tag from transfer because we could just lose. But the best play here would be like transfer, class act, clear tag, clear tag. If that doesn't go through, like Lilo's really ugly when you don't have economy because then we won't be able to play hedge fund. I guess we could slightly get out of it. I'm going to mulligan and hope for the Knick-Knack engine. Oh, that's a much better hand, I think. No class act though. We lost a lot of draw. We had so much draw in the last hand. Can I bravado turn 1? Man, hitting a Masquerovka is really bad when the corp res is it for 1. Best of luck. Have fun. All right, Bangoon, you can install agendas face up if you do, and we're not playing Hermes. Not that you can flip face up agendas. Do 2 meat damage and give the runner a tag. We have a bit of tag tech, so if we end up taking a bunch of tags with a Maze Bangoon, we can like Lilo them. Opening with spin, that's usually good. If we see an Aoko, Leo, and Bangan taking off as strong IDs, I think Moosely Haba direct access is going to be clutch. Yeah, I do think Leo is actually one of the better reasons to play direct access, but it looks like Leo is such a minority in the meta right now. I don't think it's worth it in Aoko for what like playing a credit and your influence just to turn off maybe 1 damage. I'm not convinced about that. I tried out Moosely Hot direct access. It helps with Sung at the end of your deck. Yeah, that's true. And it gives you like Mystic forever, which is kind of cute. But that's it if the corp ID doesn't matter, yeah. I do think Leo matters a heck of a lot. I'm not sure about Alco. Like, yeah, you take damage sometimes during running, but it's not like you spend a card for that, and a card in hand is usually worth a bit more. Nebula is like it's actually actively bad. It's really quite bad on one side. We have Chezos too, so we'll be able to deal with. Okay, there was Ice Respect on HQ. I like that, so we don't get just transfer wealth. The game gets goofy. So we can Penny Shaver here for 2 credits, which is kind of cute. R&D, love to steal an agenda off the top. This might be an overextension. I don't know how many successful runs we're going to make. Tattoo Bola. Okay, so this might be the list that Diogen published, because you don't see Tattoo Bola in a lot of Wayland decks. So if I see it, I think it's a Diogen list. Winchester on HQ would be kind of bad. I think that's the only rough face check here. Let's just try and find a class act. Hey, we're playing Coalescence. I forgot about that. We can run the Spin Doctor. Either it gets trashed for KPI or we just get a credit, which is what we do anyways. So I'm okay with either of these like ideas here. You never want to direct access against Nebula? I mean, Mr. Miami needs to eat. I'm not trashing this. I don't want to get a penny shaver. I don't think this deck's on Slash and Burn. If you think it's on Slash and Burn, dealing with the spin might be good. It actually might be not unreasonable to trash the Spin Doctor in hindsight. Because their hand seems bad. And this will let them to fix the hand. I don't think I've seen a Bangoon deck with enough money. So if we can just do Boomerang into transfer, we're probably gaming. The problem is we don't have card draw here. We might have wanted to draw more than get a credit. Because I do think we lose by not drawing well. But we don't have to play against Measured Response. Keeping 4 cards in hand so we don't die to like Public Trail into line is worth something if we don't have 8 credits. But that's also relatively expensive, as much as if it wins, it was a bargain for the corporation. I don't know what I'm going to play tonight. I think I have to figure it out. Hopefully this Az deck just slaps and is the most fun, so I can just like sleeve this up quickly. We have a couple players coming out. I'm excited to see Roberto's coming out. I haven't seen Roberto in like 3 years. It's going to be great to see him playing some cards for the first time in a long time. But also I think this is the first event that's being ran by Antoine because Odanuvo, who's doing a lot of our organization, cannot make it. And so we have another player stepping up to run stuff, which like needs to be shouted out. Organizers are doing a lot of work. Need Song Enabler sweeping HQ with Cup 20 as one. Yeah, if they're not flipped, it's not the worst. Yeah, maybe we should have brought down the Spin Doctor. This opening doesn't seem very good for them. Man, just installing Coalescence for 2 credits without any synergy, without the knickknack's going to feel awful. Always a good idea to do that first when planning turns. Yeah, sure, you want to draw your card first if you can. I'm not rushed to bring the Cheswa down. It doesn't do anything. We find trashables on R&D, like, whatever. Okay, so they didn't Bangoon it, so this is probably an Anthill. I'm more interested in face checking this. We'll draw up once. We're pretty sure this is the Tattoo Bola. There might not be cards in hand to actually get value from it, so I think we're just going to Bravado this. If it's a Tattoo Bola, they res it, they'll be down at 4, and then Anthill is like all their money. What is even Aztecs against hardware and jobs and connections? Lucille. Hardware, jobs, and connections. So we're assuming this is a Bola. If it is, we're not going to go through it. We're just going to force a credit swing. Yep, that's fine. So this has to be an Anthill for this to be good. If it's a Regolith, it's pretty good too, though. So now we can pressure HQ. The problem is if we go for a transfer, they can duck by resing the, what's it called? The Anthill, which is not a great transfer. But now on 4 credits, I'll run HQ because if it is potentially a Winchester, we can make sure that the Anthill doesn't get resed. If that's the case, we should install the Chesva first in case there's an SDS or something. I think this deck's on Send a Message SDS. Maybe. It's not on the other stuff. So we can do Chesva HQ. That means that we can't open market this turn. I think that's okay. I'd rather touch HQ here. They've gone through 10 cards. This deck only has 1 agenda and like 6 cards, I think. I think it's 8 agendas in 49. Chesva helps with Winchester. Yeah, Chesva, well, we have to protect it with Winchester, which sucks, so it helps, but it also hurts. Because now there's one more subroutine. You can pay into the traces, yeah, but now there's a trace 3 that we have to pay into, so it's kind of a wash, as much as we do have Link. Right? Because otherwise we only had to break 2 subroutines, now we have to break 3. So, mixed bag. But I want to SDS this. I want to force a res so they can't Anthill. Or Rego. Didn't fire as this turn. Nice. Yep, that's why we play it. All right, we're on threat 3. We could die to Public Trail into line. If Edward has Econ card Public Trail into line, we die to that. It is the Anthill. We definitely wanted to deal with that. That's why they didn't res here. But that's why we pre-installed the Chesva. So notably, threat 4 is the big threat point here. So in theory, we die to Measured Response, but no, we don't. Because of this, yeah. Yeah, I was hoping. So now as soon as we steal the second agenda, this is again, Banggood's text is totally blank. It's turn 3. And it won't be online this turn either. This deck is a bit slow. And again, threat 3 is when we have to worry about Measured Response. Now, Public Trail on the line, Edward could have it in the top 10. I don't know. We could consider playing around it a bit. But that will flatline us if that's all there. So here, I think we'll just penny shaver when we can, and we'll just set up because we got the first 3 points, and we'll make runs when we can. If we can get this down, we can get this down. We didn't see any ice in hand, so there's a chance the bullet doesn't do anything. I think this deck is on like 3 copies of, if this is Diogen's deck, is on 3 copies of Logjam and no Maskarovkas, which is pretty wild. This is a tech that I know. Yeah, Diogen, I think this is your list. I don't like the barriers in the deck at all. I think 3 Logjams is buck wild. I think Maskarov is the best deck card in the format. We're not playing it. I do think if there's big Logjams, we will struggle. Like, we're not playing Penny Shaver Boomerang. Like, that is going to be a problem. But then that's why Tattoo Bola becomes a sort of an issue. Because if I can farm my Tattoo Bola, my Kurap here on the Tattoo Bola, is the Logjams stop doing anything. What's the thoughts on all 1-pointer agenda, Bangoon? That's how you lose. That's how you lose on centrals. I think 2-pointers is probably where you want to be. Yeah, we saved 1 card with ads so far. Okay, ice on everything. Now they're going to stabilize a bit. So hopefully we will too. Drop. Okay. Not great. I don't love just playing gamble open market. I think I'd rather draw open market. We want to get the ads ability. Again, this is why I don't like side hustle. Like, what does it do? It's going to pay off in like so many turns from now. And I just don't see the slot. We'll open market here. It cost us 1 credit. 3 looking cards. So you might mention 3x Julie sellable. Might make sense with 3x Nuka. I like 3x Nuka more. I think Julie is just like another cog in an engine where we already have too many moving parts for that efficiency to be worth it. Maybe you could argue in context of Knickknack, that's something, but it'll never pay off if you don't install it. Yeah, sure. But we'll install it next turn, hopefully, with the open market or as. Maybe we should install 2 on this turn because open market, like as eats the trigger, and then we can do something else. But no matter what, we'll get the as trigger on something. I'm rooting for Bangan. Yeah, I think Chad is too, for what it's worth. As opposed to like the not particularly good Reg Crim deck. And this is what it means. It's like, if say they install Advanced in their remote server, and it's not, like, do we care if they score an SDS here? No, I don't. It doesn't do anything. Like, I'm happy they spend 5 credits on a blank 5-3. Same with the DZ. I enjoy the DZ. Like, maybe we can red team pressure centrals. Running archives is like kind of mid. Like, this is not what we need. Running archives to gain 4 credits is not what this hand needs. We need a draw. Okay, that's fine. This is likely a Tucana. If it's a Tucana, that's actually okay. That Edward actually does something here. But this is, again, where Bangan stacks doesn't really matter. You can let them have a public agenda when you know what exactly it is. Because this SDS does nothing. Maybe Edward doesn't score this out and slow rolls it. I feel like Wayland always gets the Janky's identities minus op. BTL is like really consistent. I like BTL a lot. Blue Sun was interesting and fun. But yeah, Zwicky is like straightforward and fun. Hey Tom, how's it going? Tom, did you ask about the other side of the tier list in the comments of the tier list video? Because yeah, that'll come in maybe a week or so on Jeff's channel. We haven't recorded it yet. We will install the side hustle next turn. Yeah, but we have other issues. It's like, we don't need to run 6 times to win. We need to find our class act and our boomerang and our mutual favorite. We have other problems. Blue Sun would have loved Mersha. Blue Sun would like Anthill. Oh my god, Anthill and Blue Sun would be pretty fun. Still sad as Bangun being garbage. Yeah, it's not good right now. It could be good later. Like, we have a 4 credit button here. Like, I don't think we have to do any of this stuff. We might not have even had to play Sure Gamble, honestly. Okay, KPI. Value grind. You can advance SDS. Oh yeah, of course you can. Getting an ice would probably be the best use here, if they can. Second ice is pretty good. We have to watch out that this can easily be like Tucana into an enemy, and that does damage. In theory, it is a Tucana, so that's fine. It means we diffuse an enemy here. So let's see what they get on the table. I think this deck is on like 1 Biowack, but you still have to res the Biowack. All the new operations in Nuvem are nice. I'm imagining, that's a really good placement. I'm imagining that the Petty Cash in Nuvang feels pretty good. Still hoping to play Paul's Nebula deck at tonight, Montreal GNK, but the deck list isn't the correct one in the video description. Hey Chen, how's it going? I don't think Paul publishes Nebula deck at all. I think the deck list descriptions are only the decks I played. You could ping Paul if you're on Discord. But you also could probably reverse engineer it. He showed every single card on the stream. So if you just go to the beginning of the video and like, you can rebuild the deck for sure. All right, 6 credits. Great. Lilo, we'll draw cards. We have no click compression to dump these many cards. Okay. So twinning is definitely good. I think we do twinning and then we just install side hustle. Just to get those charges. Gets 1 counter. I don't know whether we should use one more than the other. We have to discard a card. Kind of hate it. I mean, ugh. Okay, Winchester, we only have to break 2 of the subroutines, so we can just trace through this with Link, and then we can force the HQ res. If Edward pushes, unless it's an anthill, we can go for the transfer probably. That actually allows you to boost into the Winchester, which is a bit ugly. We could boomerang the Winchester, but I think we want to boomerang the inner ice. We need to make sure we have a Chesva on the table so we can deal with the there's only one more SDS, so maybe we don't have to. I think Coalescence is the worst card here. That must be it. I'll ping him. I'm in the middle of rebuilding it now to last minute. Glad to catch a stream. Yeah, definitely. You can ping him or you can build it from the video, but I don't think any of Paul's decks are in the list. I didn't ask him for them. I just posted mine. Oh, Gagarin, yeah, Titan. Those are pretty straightforward. KPI should be changed. The deck needs more econ, but this was discovered later. Flame Askarovka, the card's so good. 1 res, 3 barrier, I break for 4. Like if Edwards installs an agenda face up, do we have to run it? Probably not. The worst we can take is 6 net damage. Oh, it's an eminent. We probably should run that. Okay, if we run that, we're on point. So how do we do that? I think we just do Lilo, Boomerang, run. That might not do it. So the Tucana can get an enemy. Wait, we take a tag. So if Edward scores this out, that's the BOAC comes out, and then Edward's on game point, and then we actually have to run this. We are so slow that we're actually feeling, Bangan is feeling fast. We need to at least force credits. It's a good set for me. It usually is, actually, yeah. So our options is we can transfer Wealth HQ. The issue is if we just do Lilo run this, then the tag from Bangoon is annoying. Because we'll take what's going to be, this is going to be an enemy, that's 2 damage. Then we'll take 2 damage from this, and then 2 damage from the Tucana. So that's going to be 6 damage in a tag. So if we do Lilo, yeah, we have to pre-install the Boomerang here. So the other option is that we just like Boomerang into transfer. There might not be an agenda in hand. We've drawn through 17 cards, so 3 agendas kind of tracks. This Winchester, we can trace through the bottom 2. It's going to cost us hopefully 2 credits. Edward can boost into it. We could pre-boomerang the innermost, but then we have to deal with the hardware subroutine no matter what. I think we do that. I think we just do boomerang into transfer. The problem is like that is our breaker suite. So we'll just transfer. You can boost into the Winchester. If we lose a hardware, it's not the best for us. Double open market should try to make them equal because it makes drip faster compared to leaving one full and emptying one. There is some reason that we actually want to destabilize them so we have a knick-knack target. Because if they both lose in the same target, we actually lose a knick-knack trigger. It's like a bit niche. But it also protects yourself against resource destruction. Like if we run into a BOAC and they trash one that has 6 and leave the one that has 1 credits, like then you also want to even them out. Cool, this transfer we'll see. Actually, we'll only see 2 cards if we want to with the twinning. I don't think we'll lock HQ here. So we'll just let these traces fire. Only the second 2 matter. Trash or hardware is important. And the run's also important. In theory, they're both equally important. If Edward spends the credits on this, we're okay with the idea. Just watch you take apart my decks. Gyro, actually, I like a fair bit of them. Could you say about what is the design goal? Did you do these for NSG where they found after? That's correct. Some of them are cool. I like them a lot. So there's a trash program. It doesn't matter. I'd read an auxiliary article that got published a bit ago. Oh, okay, cool. I definitely did not read that. This is a calculated taxi face check. Yeah, I'm hoping it costs, like, it just needs to cost someone money. Right, at the end of the day, if the transfer wealth does or doesn't go through, like, I don't care. I just need to make Edward spend money here, so Eminent's expensive to score out. That being said, when you go to the tattoo bola, the money flips. Government subsidy, there's no way this deck has 10 credits. We'll beat, this is, oh wait, no, this is the one we don't beat. This is the Trasher program, we don't care. This is now a trashy piece of hardware that matters because this boomerang in context probably matters here. Losing 4 credits on Penny Shaver, not great either, let alone the 5th credit we'll get when we make a successful run. I intentionally tried to refrain from hyper optimizing lists. That is cool. I'm into that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's what I was like looking at some of them and be like, these are not optimal lists, but like, hold on, calm down. There's no reason for them to be optimal. As long as you're like playing with the card pool and it feels like your identity is doing your thing and your cards are doing the things, that's sick. Now they in theory could like duck to this. Okay, so we break this for 4 credits. That's pretty good. And then we'll see what happens here. They could res to duck. They have no other way to duck. So it's a tattoo bowl. Okay. So that's fine. We'll get the boomerang back. The Link one did work for you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Link is actually pretty good here. So Edward will get the money back from the tattoo bowl. If we bounce, so hold on. If we bounce, Edward might not have ice. If Edward has ice, Edward goes to 10 and then goes down to 7. If we bounce, Edward's on 6. That being said, the ice won't be rezzed. I'm just going to go for the Scuffle run because of Penny Shaver anyways. And the boomerang's not stranded. Were you worried about calling the deck bowel movements and being taken seriously? Yeah, this is a good recovery. A shout out to the Tattoo Bowl haters. Let's see if there's a swap. If there's a no swap, we might be more likely to hit 2 with twinning. Okay. So I'm going to go for 2 for twinning, actually. Regardless. Yeah, okay. So we'll see a Tattoo Bola, usually. Oh, yes. Okay, no surprise. Logjam, okay. We'll shuffle that back. So now we have to draw 1 and clear a tag. This Eminent going through is going to be pretty bad. Eminent Tucana, it's going to get out of hand. Floating a single tag, not great. That's good to get. Do we have to remove the tag? Yeah, we probably do. We didn't charge 20 that turn. That's pretty shitty. This is bad. This is making Bangoon look good, let me tell you. This criminal deck is doing nothing. We've saved 3 credits. That's been our ID ability. All the deck names are fun references for those in the know. Oh, very cool. So if Edward scores it out, Edward's down to 4. We'll get a free Biowax somewhere. That's pretty good. And now we have to play like anything that goes on a remote server we have to run. That being said, the money is going to be a problem here. So install advance like is very expensive. So we'll see even if we can fire Tucana. Like maybe just Tucana and Ice on archives. I think we're okay face checking here, especially if we know where the 1 Biowac is. It's wild how you get the access and the credit denial. Yeah, that's very, very generous that you get both. A huge upside. It makes it more like a hot fursuit than it is Siphon. The downside, though, which actually has shown up more than I thought it was, is that it's not optional. So if the corporation gets to like duck by rezzing stuff, you still have to take the tag. As much as you could jack out, but technically the last window is you say, I consent to access, they res their assets or upgrades, and then, oh, 0 credits, take a tag. Which is cool. It kind of makes sense. It's like you attempted. It wasn't your fault that their coffers were empty. So Eminent gets a card rezzed. So that means you can get a Logjam here. Logjam is a couple counters, just ice, operation and asset. Biowac is probably the case. We're pretty bad at breaking Biowac because we have no strength boosters and Carbon has to boost twice. So that's a lot of money. It's like 7. Hopefully the Cheswas help. But we might just be able to put the pressure on R&D. Biowac on the remote server. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be hard for us. We can't boomerang through this. Every Andre says hot fursuit, he strays a step further from God's light. It's a great name. It's a really good name, Cranked. How's it going? All right, Tucana now might be a bit pricey. We can get like a Tattoo Bola in R&D. That's actually probably pretty good for Edward here. Hey, Gyro, how's it going? Look at our side hustle chugging along. We got all these runs in us. Running R&D for singles for no reason. Like maybe we have to install the red team just so we can run R&D. I'm glad the Spirit of Account Siphon is with us. I remember when the card was just mandatory. I want to play more Anarch that plays Transfer of Wealth and just like recurs it and plays like, you know, that sort of lock game that we used to back in the day. Tree line. Okay, surprise. That might mean the 3rd Tattoo Bola is on the table. This thing is annoying. It's not more annoying than Maskarovka, but I do think now we'll try and run R&D and see 2 cards and just hopefully lock the top of the deck. We know the hand is what? What did we see? Logjam, Tattoo. And Edward's money has bottomed out. Tree line, good ice. It's like, I'd rather play Maskarovka. I think this thing is really weak to Banhart, to Botulus. It's just as bad into Kurapira. You could advance it, I guess. So we'll try and lock the deck. In theory, we should have a program first because we can't steal the last SDS. Therefore, things change as soon as the corp has more credits. Yeah, that is the big problem with Bangoon is like, imagine having credits. In theory, we just have to keep 4 cards in hand and we're totally safe. But we have to keep 4 cards in hand because, yeah, we're now at threat 4. It's a good shout out. So if we lie low, which I haven't been enjoying, we can red team run R&D, but we can't because we don't have the click compression. We need to install something to get a twinning counter. That's our most important trait here. So I think we just do red team runner, boomerang run R&D, C2 cards, and just not respect measured. What's measured cost? Oh no, we probably should respect measured. Maybe we do respect measured. Yeah, I think we just do nothing here. We just install this and we just run archive. So that means we should, in theory, we should clean ghetto. We should, sorry, lie low first. We just need to make sure we always have cards in hand because then we can run the remote server. I'm going to undo click 1 second. Yeah, we just need to make sure we can run the remote server. Okay. These coalescence have been pretty bad. I realize how impressive Cleaver was as Fracture Tails band. Yeah, the berries are really nice. Look at all these suboptimal cards. So we definitely install this. I think we're going to get the credits no matter what. So I'm going to keep the credits. Our credit pool kind of matters. And now we have the ugly fork of do you run archives with red team or do you run archives with clean getaway? Yikers. Running RD seems okay. We have no way to get through the tree line, and I think we need to keep the boomerang so we can contest this. But the bigger thing is we shouldn't make this play. We should just be drawing because we have enough money. The issue is that we just have no way to break a BOAC because we're 48 cards. Yeah, that's our play here, which that makes sense. So we know 2 cards in hand. If this is a tattoo bullet, we want to run in and jack out. So I do think here we probably red team HQ. Oh, we definitely shouldn't have used the open market credits because we could have installed a side hustle. Oh, that's on us. Yeah, that's the only way we can charge twinning. We definitely should not have used these credits. Would they have stayed? Yeah, they would have. One of them would have stayed on the table if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I did that wrong. I don't want to play the side hustle, but we have no way to charge the twinning. This is why you play companions. So here we have to consider running HQ. Just Tracer the Winchester. If this is a tattoo bullet, we bet jack out. Yeah, we could have left one untouched for sure. We should have. They'd empty 1 credit per turn, but we definitely could have had another credit to try to fire the twinning. Do we draw first? We have no class acts. Look at all these suboptimal cards, literally every elevation deck. Zen, have I confirmed officially for tomorrow? I don't know if you're coming out tonight as well. We'll just let this fire. I don't care. If they spend money, it's okay. We can afford to spend 4 credits. Oh, so sorry. It should be a class. It should be a red team run. This deck looks rough. Yay! So far not so good. We're at 48 cards. We haven't found any of our synergy pieces, and we're drawing a lot of like run-based cards and no good way to run. Yes, okay, cool. Most likely with a shiny Auko. I'm scared. So scared of Auko. I think you're gonna have a good time. Matthias, how's it going, by the way? You can't undo my click. That's my prerogative. No, it's all good. Fire away. So ideally they res something here. I don't think there's any face shake that's bad. Yeah, that's on me. Just tracing through this? Yeah, it costs us 4 credits. We have Link. That's fine. Seems expensive? Nah, we have more money than common sense. Like this run, we get 4 credits back. It costs us 4 credits. We just want Edward to res cards. We don't boost this one. Right, we have no programs. It's trace 3, and we have Link. And the successful run gives us 3 credits plus 1 credit. Plus we can see 2 cards plus a side hustle. It's very, very good. So charging the twinning with Chesva, but no Chesva nor Breaker. I know, yeah, we trashed 1 Chesva. So we want to get a res here. Hopefully a big res. Nothing, okay. Do we see 2 cards here? We know 2 in the hand. Yeah, that's fine. Logjam. Measured response. I don't even want to trash this, but I probably should. Like, I don't think this does anything. I'm going to lose to it in the remote server eventually. I'll trash it. Side hustle charging the twinning red team L. Ratio Veronica, how's it going? So we can in theory run archives just to get credits and side hustle, but I don't think that's what we want here. We haven't fired as yet. We need to get a way to charge the twinning. Okay, that's good. So I guess we just need to get our money up. So I do class act red team archives. Actually, it might be better just to click the penny shaver. Can't believe we're playing coalescence. Cool, we got a Kurapira. We have no way to deal with a Biwak. They have exactly 5 credits. If they do install advance, we could lose. Yeah, there's the hedge fund they need to play. Then they power draw. If they have a 5-3, they can just put in Servitude. It's technically safer there. Why Coalescence? Because we're a Knick-Knack deck. So that's likely a Spin Doctor or an Anthill. As soon as we install a program, we have to worry about this. So Side Hustle will give us money and a card draw. Yeah, we have 2 Knick-Knack and 23. Like, our deck is too big. No big stress. 9, they can res this. If it's a Logjam, they res it for 4. We're happy with that. So I think we just do like Docklands Pass, Red Team HQ. We, in theory, could Penny Shaver first, but that seems silly. Oh, we get the money for Side Hustle immediately. That's kind of cute. If they have an agenda, they might keep it in hand. They might actually not install it face up. We'll just run HQ here. I just don't want to install programs. Pinhole or Red Team? Well, it's definitely not the Pinhole. I mean the Red Team. But yeah, this has felt okay. Hasn't felt great. It's not the card you want to draw. We're going to lose to Keeping the second class act in hand is also really important because our play pattern is like install class act, run the remote server. We need to get ready for that as well. Do you have piles of money though? Yeah, we have more money than we need. Looks like we have too much money. But also like this deck is not forcing us to do anything, which is like another big downside of Bangun. It doesn't force you to actually do anything. So the runner generally has good money. The problem is like our multi-axis, we're failing to charge it. Hopefully we get a res here. Give me something expensive. No, okay. I don't think they have agendas in hand. Tattoo, measured, okay. All right, 2 measures are out. That could be a Spin Doctor. Did you pay into the program trace? No, that one we went through. We didn't boost that one. I'm pretty sure we didn't. Yeah, paid 0. Yeah, that was fine. Okay, so I don't want to install the class act here. We can run archives for a red team. That's worth 4 credits. I think we definitely need to get cards on the table. I don't love shoring the Kurapira. We need to find our killer. We didn't find our mutual. We didn't find anything else. So we probably just install Kurapira and say Winchester gets worse. We went fast. Yeah, we might have gone fast there. So I guess we'll show the Kurapira there and say Winchester now has teeth. We could run the tree line. This is expensive. We definitely need Chesvas. So we probably just take 9 from Penny Shaver. We'll throw out a bunch of these cards. Like, yeah, clicking for 9 seems good. Okay, so we'll throw out the Penny Shaver, we'll throw out the Side Hustle, and I think we'll throw out the Side Hustle. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe the red team is worse. Forcing runs because of that orbital fires, whatever you risk dying, not the best example, and that's kind of the problem, you know what I mean? I think Bangun comes down to whether you put face-up agendas out that are going to be super dangerous, yes, which I don't think they exist. Just more money, okay, but 2 of their kill combo pieces are up. They didn't res this, so it could still be an agenda they install face down. We can consider running R&D here. The problem is like we need our Chesvas, so we'll draw for a Chesva. Transfer, open market. I don't think it's a transfer. Open market allows us to charge twinning, which is probably the thing we need to do here. God, this twinning's really bad. I guess we have 2 more Chesvas than 21 though, so maybe we shouldn't beat ourselves up over it. Coalescence is good into SDS. We need to find our killer more than anything else. Market class act on HQ. I want to keep the class act for the turn that we have to run the remote server. That might be wrong. So it's probably the play that we have to do now because we're behind. And then next turn, if they push, we can deal with it. Yeah, I kind of like that. So we're only going to use 1 credit from this, I think. We have enough credits. And this just charges the twinning. So we draw 4. We have our Carmen, which is okay. We can red team archives, Carmen, Bravado the remote server, clear tag. Not my favorite, but like this is slow. This is turn 11. I do think it's a Spin Doctor. Your knock deck is giving you what you need. Why not do you have other than TCA any Lilo? We have 3 Lilo. We play 2 of them. We have no Nuka, but we're on 2 Knickknacks, which are in the bottom 16, which is a fair bit of our card draw engine. Yeah, we're on every Lilo we can play. We spend influence on Coalescence instead of Nuka, which is probably wrong. Yeah, so this is, I think, an Angelique. So that means this server will be 2 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage. So we'll probably pinhole the Tucana on the first run, then install the Carmen, then run this. Tucana does the same amount of damage as the Angelique. Any mutual? Yeah, we have 1 mutual. I don't think we're going to need our code gate breaker. This deck has, oh no, it does have 2 fly swatters or something. I think it has like a couple code gates. But breaking BOAC is actually really expensive because we have to boost 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tucana tutoring enemies? Yes. Tutoring enemies. Oh, we don't care about this. Well, we kind of do because we want it. Maybe we should diffuse the server here, especially because we have 9 cards in hand. We can do the math because we know exactly how much damage this should be. Okay. So in theory, if we pinhole, thinking. So we're pretty sure this is Angelique Tucana. So minimum, we could pinhole the Tucana. If we pinhole the Tucana, that costs us 2 credits. We're down to 11. We get the, oh, we can't red team, of course, because we're making a pinhole run. I'm not sure we can afford to let the Eminent fire. They don't have any more good ice in the deck. It'd be like 1 copy of Log Jam, I think, is left. BOAC, we install our breaker. We could bravado the remote server. We've hit 2 measured responses, so we're likely to not die to this. I don't think they have actually any tag punishment, but I could be wrong about that. So say that we pinhole this into the server, we trash this. Then they definitely get the Tattoo Bola swap, but we can do pinhole, Carmen, bravado, 3, 6, 7. How much money do we have? I don't think we have enough. They probably have end of line. This deck list is published. I don't think it is on end of line, but you can find this deck list online. Sorry, I got to do the math. So we do pinhole. I think we can float the tag probably. Is there influence for a maze? If this is the list that Diogen published, it does not have it. So pinhole is 1, 2 for the Tucana. Then Carmen is 3, 4, 5. Bravado is 6, 7, 8. So that leaves us with, what is it? 5 credits. That's not enough. BOAC is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we could have taken the open market credits. We'd be up here on credits. We could also do red team. Ooh, don't click that. We could do, might as well sure gamble, I guess, but cards in hand matter. Sort of. We could do red team for 3, pinhole. We could probably float the tag. Like this deck list is going to get a lot worse with open deck list, but I believe this is the published Bangun list. I don't think there's any tag punishment. Yeah, we can just float tags. Yeah, the fly swatter is going to be annoying. If the fly swatter is on the server, we can't get in. At least we can force that issue. But yeah, 3 Angelique, 2 Tucana, we can float the tag. We lose the twinning, which is not great, but it's not the end of the world. Yikes. Still thinking. So what does this cost to break? This costs 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8. So we need 8 credits. Gamble, pinhole, run seems okay. Gamble, pinhole, run. I don't know if we have enough money. Yeah, because we need to get the Carmen down and we float a tag. I think we can afford to float the tag. Gamble, pinhole, Carmen probably is enough. So this is where we'd be on 14 credits, 12 credits, 8, we have a 5. Hope this is not a code gate. Tattoo Bola for 1. We have to take a whole bunch of damage, so we'll be on 5 cards in hand. So basically, if they have the 1 measured response, we lose. I think we just let this go through and we set up. I think our hand is too good. Yeah, I think our hand is too good here. We just let this go through. Lose on Central City? Yeah, it's not working for us at all. I think we can consider just running R&D and just saying that this is not a fly swatter. And if it is, it's okay. I think we can let this go through. So if that's the case, we should get a Carmen down. The problem is if we hit an SDS, like what do we do? Trash our Carmen? No, I guess we Coalescence. So I think we do like Coalescence, red team R&D. Like we just get a Carmen down here and set up. And then on another turn, we can do Lilo, run remote. Yeah, we probably should just set up here. How much does it cost to break? Yeah, and then it charges it. It's okay. So we're going to bravado instead of gamble. So I think we do Coalescence. I think we just do bravado R&D and hope. Leave red team archives, install Carmen, run R&D. Leave red team archives. I don't think we need to red team archives. We might. I want to bravado this for sure. We'll probably red team archives before the turn is over. I don't love throwing out side hustles on this board last turn. We're paying that point right now. Maybe we need to keep the side hustles because of the open market charge, but like the game's gonna be over before the side hustle, unless we're just like running archives for penny shaver, which like maybe that's a play. We're not worried about a sentry on R&D. No, the list doesn't really have any sentries. Well, actually, no, we could get blown out by an enemy and then just lose the Carmen from hand, but then Boomerang maybe wins. But there's no sentry I think we're scared of. Like it's an open decks list issue. Yeah, like that's what we're expecting. Which is expensive, right? That's what we're feeling. At least when we run back, we break this whole server cheaply, but maybe the Eminent will do something about it. I think Edward scoring the Eminent into Tucana might be a bit expensive. Will we see 2 cards here? Yeah, sure. We'll lock the top of the deck. Fly Swatter, good to know where that is. Send a message, okay. So now we're on game point. So if we just run the remote server and we don't die, we win. Okay, send a message. So now we can consider running the remote server. So what's the order of Tucana into Eminent? Thinking. Okay, so we know where one of the Fly Swatters are. So we install the Carmen, we go to 9. If we run this, this is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we can't run it. This also shuffles the deck, actually, so locking R&D wasn't great. But with the 2 Eminents out, all that's left now is 5 3s, so we can just click for credits. I need to learn how to better deck build in this new meta. Emily, we all do. No stress. Nobody knows what they're doing. That's not entirely true, but a lot of people don't know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think we run this. So this is, we just barely don't have money. But if this Eminent gets scored out, we shuffle. I think we should just build up the twinning and then win off of centrals. So I think we'll install the Carmen before something bad happens. We didn't charge the twinning here. So what was the top deck? Okay, so there is a code gate in hand. Don't fight the remote, just money and Carmen here, yeah. Because now everything that they have left in the deck is a 5-3 because the Agenda Suite is on Eminence and only 5-3. So we just wait for them to push in the remote server. All we do is draw, run the remote server. And then there's nothing they can do. This is again where like Bangoon gets really cursed. We know where 2 of the measured responses are, so we can't die anymore. And now we just like click for credits. This is where like actually having the side hustle and just running archives 4 times would actually be correct because we get Penny Shaver at the same time. This is the kind of matchup I don't know how to play as runner without Turbine. Well, you can play other stuff like Leech is really good. Game Dragon's really good. Kurapira is really good. We break the logjams for free. So we'll see what we get here. We shuffle the deck. I think logjam would be the worst case. But all we now do is just click for credits. We probably red team run archives off the open market. Yeah, side hustle would actually be fine here, but that's because we don't have to play the game. Like the game has devolved into just credits. Chesva and Leech. Yeah, Chesva's really good. We definitely want a Chesva here. All right, score the Eminent. Let's see what they get, and let's see if they can fire Tucana. Same value, set up high rig? Yeah, you need to set up the high rig, I guess. But at the same time, you need to, like, you know, put up pressure. That is the thing with Bangoon, is like it's presenting one problem. And so it's easier for you to sit back and set up. We're getting an advantage of this being open deck lists, but I do think that's the sort of Netrunner I like to build for. I don't know what to change the JNet background to. I feel like kind of weird changing it back to the root as much as I like the root. But this one makes less sense to newer players. They're like, who are these people? You can set your own. I don't know if the Métropole Grid branding works well with this. Like putting my face behind here feels a bit indulgent. So they have 2 more logjams in the deck. I'm a Rumor Mill background gamer. I like Rumor Mill. It's in the background. It's just like that's also going to be kind of strange to newer players. Exactly, indulge us. Chesva can prevent you just losing money. Chesva is busted. 4 credits, 6 credits to run central servers every turn is like so much money. It is an absurd amount of money. Monochromatic background enjoyers rise up. It just doesn't make the most compelling stream, but the monochromatic makes it a lot cleaner to like watch for sure. Like in terms of like parsing info. But yeah, maybe that's worth something. Yeah, that's fine. So our R&D is shuffled. All we do is click for credits and try and find our last breaker and then run the remote server. So we'll try and class act every turn. We'll try and install something every turn. Change mine to push your luck, but full support to change it back to the root. All right, that's showing the Fly Swatter. That's good. There's 1 Fly Swatter in hand here. That means we know where this is. That's really good. So we know that this is probably an enemy. All right, Edward's on 5 credits. So install advance next turn is a possibility. I'm not going to lie low here. I'm going to draw. Sam changed everything. All right, Cheslo's good. We'll take it. This prog has been pretty rough. So I think we just red team archives, install red team. Maybe we don't even install red team and just click for credits here. I guess we hit the penny shaver. Man, the twinning is really bad. I could eminent out of 5-3 and be the beatdown to anyone. Oh, anymore? Oh, yeah. Yeah, wild. Yeah, they could have got an agenda with eminent, which is pretty fun. Why not prog? We have 15 cards left in the deck. I don't think we have enough triggers for this. I just want to click for credits. I don't think we have to be queued anymore. So I'd love to install a connection or job so we can install red team. The problem is we can't run archives with red team, so it's going to put us down credits. I don't want to be down credits this turn. I think we just do credit. Actually, no, we probably should draw into our decoder, but worst case, we know what the other fly swatter's in hand. And if Edward puts the second fly swatter here, we can run the remote server. So I'll just click for credit throughout the prog. Oh, we shouldn't click for credit. We should have hit the penny shaver. Sorry. Do you mind if I click the penny shaver instead of clicking for creds? Second fly starters in the bin. Oh yeah, it was just discarded. So there's no more code gates if I'm not mistaken. Thank you. All right, so instead of 1 credit, we'll gain 3 credits. So I'll just gain 2 and put this to counter 0. Cool. So we're at 21 on 5. The agenda will go in the remote server face up. We'll run it. We just do draw, run. And the game is a bit bad. How do you know their deck? Because this is Diogen's deck. There's not a lot of published banking lists. And there's a lot of really easy tells, like seeing Treeline, Logjam, Tattoo Bola, not super common. So I'm like, okay, this is probably a list. If they change 1 or 2 cards, power to them. That's really, really cool. We could even consider pinholing this because if this is, what's it called? It's pretty good for us if it's an end-tail to deal with it. Better to lie low than draw 3 times? Yeah, I just want to keep this for the turn that we like click 1 and 2, lie low, and then run the remote server. So I do think we'll actually end up pinholing this card. It's not a agreed open list. It's just like a wrinkle of this. Diogen shared this list. Okay, there might be agendas in archives. I guess we can red team and just set up. Install Chesva. Yeah, I guess if we're pinholing, we want to install the Chesva because it gives us that's better. Let's draw for decoder. He's here. Yeah, it's just 3s and 1s. Yeah, exactly. And 5 is like, doesn't really help Edward score out. I mean, probably not worth playing. I think we do Chesva pinhole here. We could ignore and just red team go for credits. We can finally sell a class act, yeah. So we could do knick-knack, run, sell a class act, gain 4. I mean, it cost us something. It's our last class act? No, we have 1 on the bottom. So it's either red team, run archives, and that gets us a 20 charge, or we could do pinhole Chesva. That puts us down 3 credits, which stinks. I don't want to take 2 meat damage. I guess we trash the Tucana. I'm just going to get credits. We'll might as well empty this because there's no other good way to get a credit off because it leaves next turn. How's the knick-knack engine working out for you? Ball, really good. Just really good. Consistent. There's the third logjam, excuse me. We could draw and discard a card, power draw last click. I don't care. Getting the knick-knack down is also fine because when we run the remote server, we go +1 card, and that's actually super useful on the turn we need to contest the remote server. Notably, Angelique is unique, so there's no way to take multiple Angelique damages. Edward could like start expending Angelique to hit cards out of her hand. That's something we have to worry about to some extent. Pinhole remote, yeah, I'll do it next turn because we charge the twinning. I just want to make sure that we can red team, them pinhole the remote. I just want to make sure we're never caught with no cards in hand. Undo turn, so it looks like it was an anthill. So yeah, we'll pinhole it for sure. Yeah, missed anthill. Okay, so pinholing that would have been fine. At least it's only a card and a credit. That was what we were playing around. We could have considered pinning only that. I think it was either a spin doctor and anthill. That would be the second spin doctor because 1 was extracted. I do think at this point you'll extract the 2 Kana on game point because we win before this fires. So I reckon you do that. Clearly they're super flooded. The deck doesn't have that many more agendas, right? Like there's only 4 more agendas in the game. But they might not be flooded. With 12 cards left in R&D, the thing is like we just don't have to do anything. Like if we spend money running this, they install their agendas, advance, face up. Like we know it's an agenda, we just run it. We just don't have to do anything like very clever. Like that's the problem, is like, yeah, maybe you can. Oh, there's a 3 white space. Okay, there's not 2, there's 3. Right? Like now all we have to do is force money. So we could win. We have to run this turn. So if this is a second fly swatter, at least if Edward reses it, Edward doesn't have money to do anything else. Okay, so maybe we should have. I guess we just do Lilo, Codegate, Breaker, run. They will install face down. They could. The thing is, like, I know the deck list, so anything to advance. You're camping wins. I'm stuck. Yeah, that's kind of the issue. So if this is the third fly swatter, if Edward reses it, that's fine, because then Edward doesn't have the money to score out. If we run this, we need to take 2 damage, because that's when you access. We'll just, notably too, like Angelique doesn't do anything because we don't access it, so we just need to have 2 cards in hand. That's all we need, 2 cards plus an enemy. So we could Lilo, Boomerang run, we could Lilo install our Codegate Breaker and run. We always start with this, I think. Remove 2 tags, draw 4. We have no decoder. Bummer. So I think we just do Boomerang run. If it's a second Codegate, we'll buy ourselves a turn because Edward can't score out. Oh, maybe you can score out actually if you have KPI. If you have KPI, there's 2 in the bin. Okay, so if there's 1 more KPI, I think you can score out. Because you actually go up plus credits. So we don't have the decoder. We have no way of getting the decoder. It's just somehow on the bottom like 6 cards, 5 cards. So the best we do is Boomerang run this. We lose to KPI. We can walk through the money Codegate. All the Codegates are fly swatters. We're going to lose cards anyway. Might as well bravado, I guess, in case we don't get in. But yeah, we just sit in camp, and then the ability doesn't do much. Well played. Okay, so we have it. Yeah, it's just fly swatter. This deck's not even playing Shylendra. I didn't do the math. I'm assuming 20 cards is enough. Play 2 fly swatters? Yeah, 2 fly swatters is reasonable. But like, again, the criminal should have drawn, we could have drawn mutual, we could have drawn a Codegate. Like going this far and not having your breaker is definitely like, oh, not a situation you want to be in. Does Bangan kill you before you win? Yes, because it's on access and you have to access the card before you steal it. So if you don't have cards, the problem is like all these other traps are when you access them. So we just access the send a message first and the game's over. That is like why Danielle is a bit more interesting, because Danielle actually has an additional cost to steal. So if that's there, you have issues. Yeah. Yeah, there's the enemy. We called that. So we're going to take damage. That's fine. Doesn't matter. We can break this. We don't have to. It costs us 1, sure. Yeah. It's not like everything. That's why like also like CityWorks Project was really cool, because it was damage when you access it, not when you steal it. I was going to bypass Tattoo Bowl. I guess we can't. We were really scared here we could jack out because Edward can't score out on 1 credit. Good game. 9 points. Yeah, our deck is not particularly good. We need to cut some cards to make it more consistent. Thanks for the game. But if this was Vicky, we would have been losing faster, and I think that actually is the big difference. This ability did not change that much of how the game went. The fact that they showed the agendas changed more about how the game went, and if they just had more money, played more operations, the game would go faster. Yeah. The double fly swatter would have been rough. Do you have a KPI in hand? I think you can still score out with a KPI. Whistleblower tech. I mean, if you want to, Ken, how's it going? You can play Whistleblower. It's really good into Bangun, but doesn't really do much else on the meta. Aye. Yeah, double fly swatter, actually, we would have lost the game if there's a KPI in hand, because I think you have enough money to do KPI to get credits, to get advancement, advance, and then you can score out from less. Yeah, for sure. I do think the deck is better without 5/3s. I think the deck wants to play 2-pointers. So you make the ability in their mode server better, and your 2-pointers generally do more to push yourself forward. Like this was a blank SDS. Oh my god, it doesn't actually beat it. Whistleblower is ignore costs, not access triggers. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I unfortunately know the list, which doesn't help you. I think if I play different agenda suite or closed deck list, I can try to bamboozle you into thinking I can fast advance a 3-2. Yeah. Yeah, direct access turns off Bangoon. That's a bit better. Than Whistleblower. Thanks for the game, eh? I feel like our list is not very good. I think the coalescences are just such a dream. And then when you don't draw knickknack, these are bad. So I don't know what we do. Do we play Nukas? You're wrong? Wait, what's the text on what's it called? Whistle. So Whistleblower says, whenever you make successful run, you may trash this research to choose a card. The next time you access an agenda with the chosen name, steal it, ignoring all costs. Oh, yeah, okay. So you don't access it. Yeah, that works. 3x Nuka? I think it might be 2x Nuka. What's the KPI line? If you're down on 2 credits, you can KPI for advancement, gain 2 credits, advance. Yeah, so you're just not a credit short. It's just kind of like playing a red level clearance. I don't see Cole making sense just for knickknack. Veronica, it was Cole with knickknack, but also in theory to Chezo with prognostic. But that's both ambitious, but also just the deck is too big for that to be consistent. Yeah, it's a cool line. People pressure your money. If TC and red team should be okay, I'm hoping, yeah. I'm hoping it is. And maybe we get more card draw. I don't know. Maybe we just actually want buy bands because buy bands with Chesva is cracked. And it's another way to fill the twinning. I could see that. Hey, cheers. It's already 3 o'clock? Oh man, okay. We played one game. This was a long game. It was a 50-minute game. I want to try cold knickknack idea in Topan since everything is 2 cost. Yeah, like maybe you want knickknack in Topan because you want card draw, but weird. Definitely weird. I want to play like the sort of viruses version. Okay, let's cut the coalescences. So then we're on 45 cards. Already made the deck probably better by just floating 6 influence. So we could definitely play Nuka. Oh, we're only on 1 Pinel. Okay, so we can definitely play some Nukas. Then we could play like 2 Biobands. That's 49 cards. I think that's just about where we were. We're on 48. So what doesn't make sense? I think the prognostics are less good now for obvious reasons. So we're on 47. That feels okay. That feels reasonable. 3 red team just feels like a bit much, but I guess we don't want to be precious with them. We'll just try and pitch them forward. All right, let's run back. Cut side hustles. I'm going to keep playing with them just because they're going to be good in different matchups. Better in that matchup. They aren't sellable, no, but they come in cheap and they give us money in card draw, and we want to be running a lot. So I'm going to keep trying them, but like, yeah, it's not my favorite card. But if we play against like Oko or assets, like it's very, really good. This is 59 cards. Uh-oh. This is going to be another 50-minute game, I imagine. Hey, Emily. So this, how many agenda points is 59 on? 24? Hey, best of luck, have fun. So this is another game that we probably don't have to go too quickly, and we definitely want all the Cheswas in the world. I do think if that deck that we just played this, it would be better. They don't betray their agendas. They get more money. They can play 44 cards if they want to. This is, yeah, again, 59. Emily Mulligan, this hand is totally playable. Doesn't have a knickknack. I don't want a hard mulligan from knickknack when our hand looks this good. It's BTL. So first advancement, you gain 2 credits. So you gain, it's like clicking for credit. Mess and Cheswa is going to be a bit of a struggle. We don't have a great way of dealing with that. Man, the fact that Petty Cash makes you draw a click 1 or play a click 1, like it's rough. It feels rough. So here we can either clean getaway or red team. This is like the confusion is how you play this hand. We're going to just like die to bite on turn 1, but like, what are you meant to do here? So we definitely sure gamble. Do we penny shipper run or do we red team run? Or do we do both? And then end with 2 cards on hand, which is pretty ugly. This double downs on the as trigger. I think we'd rather red team and fix the red team sooner than the penny shaper. I don't think penny shaper is going to be as good in the matchup. Red team will be fine. So I guess we could draw first. Maybe we trash something or steal something. I don't know. Again, the thing with red team is you can't run the same server that you've ran this turn. Not run with red team, just ran. Give us some info. Finish watching the past stream where you built poetry decks and stumble upon this live. Life's good. Trebuchet, bad publicity. Oof. This might just be a roughneck list. Damian, glad you could find it. I do think YouTube promotes some of the VODs more when we're live. We'll just drop here. We actually could red team HQ. It's not unreasonable. I think you try to save red team for open market. He says top decking the open market. Yeah, there's a chance. I could see it. I just think open market maybe has enough targets. Maybe we do that and just penny shaper first. I just think the game's going to be slow enough that using your open market quickly is not a priority. I would love to against this deck that has like probably not the most consistent economy, as much as Petty Cash Fire there, is that we could just like red team HQ as well. Winchester doesn't hurt us. The only thing that hurts us is Trebuchet. Because we lose our red team. Like sing a Trebuchet after you installed a red team feels bad for sure. All right, Boomerang doesn't beat every ice here. But we definitely want to consider running this. We'll see if Emily puts an advancement. No advancement, so I don't know exactly what this is, but I'm down to find out. As install for 1, we've got as full. I wish this could run remote servers. It's fine. Let's see if this gets res. If it's a Trebuchet, it's a bad publicity, which this as deck doesn't like as much as most. Maskarovka, glad we boomeranged that. Like, I don't love pre-boomeranging, but into like what we just saw at the top of the deck, let alone Maskarovka, the 2-credit swing on the Maskarovka is actually pretty massive. So this will break and shuffle. Ideally, we're trashing a Regolith or Anthill. It's a Managarm. Okay. That's influence in a 59 card deck. I think we have the money to trash this. Oh, we don't. If we could spend 2 clicks and trash this. I think we trash this. I just don't think we're going to run the server again for a bit. Like, our hand sucks. No, not at all. It's not at all. I think we can trash this, go down to 4. I do think this deck is going to need every win condition to get access to. Unfortunately, this is our turn. At least we used as twice so far. Just resing the Managarm on its own. If we had more credits there, 1 more credit, we would have considered just paying 5. Ooh, hedge fund. Her money's pretty good. Here she can double ice the remote server, and it's actually hard to deal with. That's actually hard to deal with too. We're in a bad spot here. Installing the red team sucked. All right, we'll drop. Okay, we can face check. These cards are combating each other relatively hard. Carmen into 6 strength is pretty bad. Carmen into Trebuchet is not great. I'd rather just lose the res team. I think we're just going to red team archives, install open market for 1. Look at our telework with more steps. It's good when the run actually matters. When you run our archives for 3 credits, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So we know that there might be a Trebuchet here. Could still be in hand. Just drawn through 10 cards. No penny before red team. I don't think it's that important for us on the basis that we want to... Well, we could have done that with Az actually, but I just don't think we're going to make that many successful runs against this ice suite. That I'm not... It's not a huge priority for me to get this down. Okay. Keep drawing. That's good. I think we can be a bit brave here and red team HQ. There's a chance that it also could be like Valenchow. Again, pressure on HQ here is reasonable. We can't steal SDSs, but like it's a 59 card deck. I don't know if we have to play around SDS here. So I think we can consider red teaming HQ. I'll get the Carmen down for safety. If we lose it to net damage, we're kind of cooked. Let's hopefully force an expensive res here. If it's just like an Afshar. Oh man, this card's so messed up. 1 cost res, like Ice Wall, but gives you 3 strength. Pretty bad for us. So I think we just red team here. Do we as? If ice happens on archives, how do we get our Carmen down? I don't know. Shadow's always good. Yeah, it's worse if we think that this is I'm gonna play around a Winchester, as much as this deck might not be super consistent, considering its size. So I think we just continue to play good stuff Anarch. So either we can red team archives, install Carmen, or we can use as. I just don't want to as the Penny Shaver, so I think we're gonna red team archives. I think using the red team aggressively for a deck that has 3 red team is probably worth something. This is a read of one of these 2s of Valenchow. Or not Valenchow, sorry, Trebuchet. We'll just get this down. Again, we break Trebuchet for way too much money. That doesn't seem like it's an Anthill. Emily looks like she wants to score out. She's playing Managarm. Ooh, if that's an SDS, that's a problem. I wish we didn't install this. Oh my god, if that's an SDS, we lose. Do we save the red team until we get knick-knack? We might for the last counter, yeah. 6 cards for Treb seems fine when it gives you bad pub. It'll only get better. Now we have to run this. Oh man, that's really bad that we installed this into what could be a send a message. That's very, very bad. If the Carmen is trashed, we're in a really bad spot. Boomerang gets you somewhere. Like our best case scenario is we top deck Boomerang, which is a 1 in 13. Click for credit. Okay. Yeah, if that's an SDS, we're in a really bad spot. We should have installed this in hindsight. Draw. Give us a boomerang. At a minimum, we could install that. Oh, it's so bad. We're not on Hermes, we're on Penny Shaver. I will rather install a Penny Shaver here than a Hermes. Oh my god. I'm just going to install this out of pocket. I'll keep the open market around for... We don't need the money up front. Weird how that is. If we lose the Carmen, we're so cooked. Ah, there's a boomerang. Hopefully not an SDS. Maybe an off the books would be fine for us. A Basalt Spire. Nice. Oh, it's only when you steal this. Okay, so she's on 7 credits, 3 points. This is really scary for measured response. It means we can take double measured response, but threat 4 is the big thing. Okay, so that was a disaster, but luckily it wasn't the worst for us. So here I think we can just do Chesva Bravado. That'll drop us to 5 credits. I think that's enough to run R&D. What's it cost to break a Trebuchet? Sounds like 7 credits is right. I think it's 6. We need multi-access, so we don't have it. We need to find our killer Fractor as well. I wonder if she'll use this on tempo to get like hedge funds and stuff like that. Show us a Trebuchet. Give us a bad publicity. Or not. Anthill? Yeah, we'll trash that. We can go back with the red team if we wanted to, and then we can install the open market. We might be at the point that the Penny Shaver makes some sense. I don't want a clean getaway. I'm just going to run R&D here. Oh, we can't, but of course. So I think we just need to continue to set up. Did we draw the class act yet? No. I think drawing is going to be a bit important here. So I think we just install the open market for 1 with as. Do we red team archives? Maybe we do Penny Shaver red team archives. Yeah, that's better. We got to use as ability. All right, fine. We need to find breakers. Money's good, breakers not good. Card draw, mixed. It's really hard to lie low. Oh my god, it's hard to lie low, it feels like. We're definitely gaming. I would love it if Emily just like grabbed the anthill back or a hedge fund. I think that she could definitely use that. I wonder what she's keeping this for. It makes me think maybe kill combo. So we have to be a bit careful once we hit threat 4. If you're on 24, you could play 18 points of 3-pointers. So there's definitely something else in here. Above the law would make a lot of sense. But we need to find our twinning as soon as possible. That's a big reason I'm keeping open market around, which like feels bad that we're not using this quickly because we want to be able to use our counters. I think now with the Chesva on the table, it shouldn't be a huge concern because we can always just run archives and boost this for 2. Lilo feels decent with Swift or Sable. Yeah. With the extra clicks, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, Gerard. Yeah, we just don't have a lot of click compression in this as deck compared to like the Masterwork versions, which I think really do have click compression running. Do feel like I'd rather play Hermes in here. She didn't res this, which is massive. Maybe it is because it's a Trebuchet and she doesn't want to. Maybe it's because it is a Bioac and she doesn't want to, can't, or doesn't want to forfeit obviously the Basalt Spire. But that was a fair bit of information. If she like hedge funds here or like wants to play government subsidy in the next 2 turns, that could make a bit of sense. But just remember when your opponent doesn't res, maybe she wants to just keep the credits for server 1. Just spilled water, it's fine. Oh, okay, she's using it. So she grabs the hedge fund back. I like that. It forces her to trash the top card of the deck. I think she did that on her turn, not ours. So there is an unknown in archives. Ice on HQ, okay. So she doesn't put anything in the server, that's totally fine. Still kind of feels bad and sayable. I mean, it's no influence. It's criminal card draw. So this could be an agenda. Just click for credit. Okay, we're good with that. So we definitely class act draw. I don't know if we lie low. Yeah, we could just definitely lie low here, throw out a card. We'll draw 4. So we scry. So we have our knick-knack. So what's our play here? I don't want to knick-knack this turn. So we have a Shibboleth, which is like fine. We definitely don't have our Fractor yet. We have a mutual favor in this deck. We must. Maybe we should side hustle because it's fun. Yeah, I think we have to. So do we bottom the knickknack? No, I'm bottoming the open market. So I think here we install the side hustle for 1, and then we clean getaway archives. We really need our twinning. Yeah, I think with Chesvo we don't have to be precious about this. We'll install for free. And what is the card we discard? You can nick the open market this turn. Yeah, but we don't want to. We have too many cards in hand. Lost to Maskarovka. That's really good for us. We do not like that ice. Okay, so what are we discarding? We don't discard a Shibboleth. Red team is like, with knickknack, we need to keep it. What is the worst card in this hand? I think it's the knickknack. I think the worst card in our hand is knickknack. Oh no, I'm gonna throw out the open market. I'm throwing out the open market. Discard Lilo. We need card draw. We haven't found any of our killers yet. Or sorry, any of our fractors yet. I think we kind of need it. You have draw from Nick? I mean, yeah, okay. F it. We'll try it. Sorry, we'll try it. I'm down with that. Just gonna change my discard. Yeah, I'll try it on that. That's too late. It's too late. Install advance. Okay, wow. So we're assuming we can break the outermost. We've seen 3 Maskarovkas. It's no big deal. It's all good. No stress. Okay, so we can do Shibboleth, Boomerang Run. I think that's probably our play. I don't want to get rid of the class act. Discarding Nick as top 10 enemy betrayals is really, really bad. We can install Nick here for 1 credit and then run server 1. That'll give us 2 cards in hand. A 3rd card will get rid of the class act. Yeah, it's kind of what our deck is meant to do. We lose to double barrier, but that's fine. So we'll knickknack here. So side hustle first. We'll knickknack the class act, gaining 4 cards, drawing a card, and we're hoping that this is code gate into something. If there's a pink here, we'll end up floating a tag. It's a Valenchow. Okay, cool. So Valenchow, we actually don't have to break any of these subroutines. If we want to break any of these subroutines, ooh, how bad is it? We have to boost twice, so it's 2-4. So I think we just let these fire. Again, her money's not great. Our money's a bit better. We have to watch out though. We're definitely not gonna be on threat 4. But in theory, we could get, at least we're on money, which is good. The side hustle will pay out. That knickknack felt good. 4 and a card, it's pretty gross. If it's an SDS, we'll throw the Chesva. We have more of those. Oh, the wrong button's fine. We'll click more times. I'm assuming it's an agenda. Idiosyncresis. SDS sick. We don't want that to get scored. We functionally lose the game, so we'll get rid of the Chesva. Shuffle Boomerang, we're still not in threat 4, so we don't have to respect that. We have 15 credits, so we can survive double Public Trail if we have to play around it. I would love to have 1 more card in hand. Maybe this is a nice time to go Lilo and then run archives. I just don't know what we spawn. Maybe we have to set up red team. Problem is like knickknack is not a run, it's the first run, which is like really ugly with a fresh red team. I have to make sure I'm not clicking for credits with the penny shaver. Oh, damn. Okay, Lilo for Boomerang. Let's go. I can play this game all day. Yeah. Do we want to knickknack the side hustle? Knickknack the penny shaver, gain 3 credits and a card? What happens if this is an SDS, though? I guess we can't take that risk. Like, no matter what the SDS goes through, we'd rather control the narrative. Code gates we can usually beat with Boomerang. We can't beat the big Biowac. Do we die to Urtica? Urtica's 4 damage. I think we can just bravado this. We could also Biobands the remote server. It puts us on 11. Wait, we have to care about the math on Balanchow. 11, we go down to 10. She goes to 10. Okay, so if we run, we go to 11, she goes to 10. If we Biobands, if we bravado, we go down to 10. She goes to 10, we go to 8. So I think we just have to run this normally. We do not knickknack. Reason Evan suggests you can play this game all week. Yeah, that was last week though. This week's different. We won't knickknack. Like, side hustle knickknacks itself, technically. We could speed up the process. We just lose, what is it, 4 credits. I mean, sometimes you just need the money now. Oh, we have bad publicity, so our math was off. So this is not as bad as it used to be. So she goes to 10, we go down to 12. So we might have been able to buy a bans here. I think we'll discard the Shibboleth. I do think there's a fair bit of end the run code gates, but at least the Valenchow we can best by just having finances. And we're good at running and making money at the same time. The fact that we can like burst into the Valenchow is kind of sick. Basalt Spire would be okay. We're 5 cards in hand. She could double measured response. We'd have to end up taking one of the damages. Yeah, nice. So we're on game point. We'll get rid of the Shibboleth. It gets worse anyways. We have no recursion. SDS is really good against criminal. Good jam though. This is Esta. What do we throw? We definitely keep the Carmen because we've seen what's it called? I just don't think without Carmen we can't deal with the Trebuchet on R&D is hard. We can deal with Valenchow. We can't deal with Bioac. So somewhere in the middle. The code gates, like, you only have Descent and Afshar's hard end the runs, maybe Fly Swatter. Those are tricky, but Boomerang gets through those. There are sentries you can't Boomerang. Sorry for interrupting. It's possible to see your settings, like on JNet. So Sarkhan, a lot of my JNet settings are actually different. The big thing is I use the Cyberfeeder plugin. If you're asking for those, I can show you those. These are my Cyberfeeder plugins. I'll just do it quickly and you can screen cap. But I do think I have some CS extensions on this. Maybe I don't. I haven't messed with these in a bit. I've just set them up and gone from there. Yeah, just sent it. Okay. So this could be a code gate. She could score out above the law. We lose our side hustle. We might just pop our side hustle this turn. I think we'll red team run archives. A single advance. Okay, sick. If that's an off the book, she can close the game off in 2 turns, which is pretty cool. Okay. So we just need to keep getting money. Do you want to install red team for 4, sell for 5? I don't think we do, but we could. I think we should run R&D here. We're pretty sure that this is a sentry. We have a bad publicity. Maybe we just buy a it, but then if it's a code gate, it's pretty bad. I think if the custom settings, but I copied and put it under streamer mode. Oh yeah, yesterday I fixed the archives thing in poetry. Sick, Rahi. That's awesome. All right, so this looks like an agenda. We can't get through this. We're going to need to draw through a deck. If we buy a band's R&D and she reses a code gate, which she didn't res this on 7, it could be a Valenchow, which could be the reason. If it's a Valenchow, she's down on 4 and we're on 12. So I think we can afford to buy bands, or we're on 11. We're not going to knick-knack. I don't know if I like this knick-knack guy. Maybe we haven't built the right deck for it. So we'll side hustle for sure. No knick-knack. So let's see if she reses the code gate here and she gets a full bounce. I think it's a Trebuchet. We'll draw 2. Install a card paying 1 fewer. So we could get red team down for 3 credits. Nuka is already free, so I don't have a huge reason to do that. We definitely need to draw through a deck, but I think we're just going to red team archives here to get the side hustle draw. Never mind. Good game. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. The hand is green mail, roughneck, roughneck. That makes sense. I think we were calling the roughnecks there. So Trebuchet's on R&D. What's in the remote? Yeah, that's a big thing with a 59 card deck. Oh, send a message. Is that your natural draw balancing is super weak comparably to a smaller deck, right? Like drawing an agenda in your opening hand doesn't have a huge impact on how likely you are to draw your next agenda. I think I have a chance. Yeah, Emily had a chance there for sure. If that's a send a message into green mail, yeah. We buy a turn here, so we have to be able to get into the remote server, but yeah. Yeah, if this was a smaller deck, it would be obviously a lot more consistent. She just needs to figure out what 10 cards to cut. And mind you, only those are 8 cards because 2 of those are agendas. It's a short game because sometimes people can't get in. Yeah, you're jamming way faster than I thought you would on 59. The back-to-back SDSs were sick. And this is what I mean. This deck was like way more threatening to me than the Bangoon deck. And that's just because it can play Netrunner faster. It can just play Netrunner faster and force the problems that we struggle to deal with. If Emily played the same Bangoon cards in this deck, we would be in a worse spot. Because mind you, this is not a 59 card game. Valentine had no chance, yeah, especially with bad publicity. Like, this gets a bit worse. Hey, cheers. Thanks again. We were gonna run archives, gain like so many credits with side hustle penny shaver, but our money's really, really good. One day I'll not embarrass myself. There's no embarrassment. You don't not embarrassing yourself. I begin learning from cards. Hey Jim, the Bangoon dunk continued. No, but it's like I don't need a dunk on Bangoon. I'm just trying to like explain where my points are about Bangoon because I don't know, people don't like that take. But it's just like it's just not the fastest deck at closing the game off, and that is more valuable than allowing your runner to do whatever they want for a bit. I think I'm just powering up. I have another Bangoon deck to add to the dunk. Oh boy. Oh boy. What is the time? It's 3:30? I think we can do one more game with this job market deck. I don't know the rules as much as in reference. Emily, we would love watching games with you. Last one had me on the edge of the seat. Don't apologize, Bangoon should be dunked on. I mean, it's not the there's other Waylands you can play. Should not have mulliganed. It's like Emily, you just got to cut 10 cards, 2 agendas, 8 cards, and the deck will be way more consistent. Oh, we're playing against Bangoon again. So it also feels like install and forget. At some point you'll get a nice little infusion cash, and I don't think that's good enough. Sock Monkey, like it's felt okay. The thing is, like the runs you make to make it pay off, they need to be organic, and we're not organically making those runs. I think Solomir is going to have a cool cook here. Hand is okay. Lilo, red team penny shaver is like a really ugly start that we don't know how to do anything with. This is now I have to play around things like bite and stuff that should be in the deck because I think bite will just win the game as much as we have to be on threat for. More cards is more funny, no, but that's when the problem is that you just like draw awkwardly. Like the smaller the deck is, like cut 15 cards, honestly, you can get away with and play 44. Your deck will just be more consistent at delivering the thing you want it to do. Draw 5, take 5 credits, take 3 clicks. Jim, I'm not sure. That sounds right. You're talking about corp play. You do get a mandatory draw on the first turn. If you're trying to learn how to play the game, there is a tutorial video up on Nelson Games website, or YouTube channel, excuse me, which is okay. That's a mulligan. I think we can keep this hand. It's not the fastest, but whatever. Oops, all Bangoon. Yeah, I know. But Solomir wanted to show something off. Solomir does play some really cool fork damage decks. Yes, that also feels okay. Please dunk on this deck. I've been winning with it at casual. I need to know. I don't think this... good luck, have fun. I'll just say it there. Yeah, I don't think this runner deck is going to like put it to the paces. Dude, hurry up. Music? What are you talking about? All right, so that wasn't flipped, so I don't know what it is. We can check it. Ice on HQ is the transfer wealth support, which I like. So I can do Penny Shaver, run this, run R&D, and then set up with Lilo next turn. I feel like Lilo wants you to take the sort of like VRcation plays, because otherwise you do like run to an issue. If this is Angelique, it's fine. I bought Legions Imperialis starter box. Jim, I don't know what that is. I don't know half those words, I'll be honest. I'm trying to run server 1. This could be a trap. I'm assuming it's a spin doctor. I don't know what this possibly is. Like a Hendrick, maybe? It's a Nico. Oh, shit. Okay. We might actually have to worry about Oppo here. We could take a risk and run R&D. But I'm assuming if we're playing Nico, we are playing something a bit more interesting. Maybe it's Acid Bangoon. I don't know. Spin. Like, maybe that's worth trashing. Our money's not that good, though. We go down to 3. I guess we batch trashed. But next turn when we lie low, I don't want to have to hit Penny Shaver. So unfortunately, yeah, we're going to give Solomir a spin there. Yeah, Jim, it's hard to like explain the rules of the game through chat, but as someone suggested, Green Level Clearance Discord, GLC, is a really good place you can like sit down and flag down a mentor and someone who could walk you through your first couple games, if that's what it takes. It's tricky to explain, you know, everything through chat, that's for sure, for like a whole bunch of reasons. But hopefully it makes sense relatively soon. So this wasn't iced after a mulligan, so imagine the hand is cooked. If that's the case, maybe we should trash the Spin Doctor. Hey, all Sam, watch the VOD later. We can speed up perhaps. Keep your thought. No, yeah, I like JNet is frustratingly slow. That's just how it is. But I think if you're attacking me for slow turns, I'll take it. If you're roasting my opponents for taking slow turns, potentially, I will not stand for that. That's a pretty bad attitude. You clicked 4 games at one time. Nice. Enjoy. All right. We're icing up. We want a Lilo. We want to get an as install. We're on 4 credits. We can get red team down, but that's all our money here. So I have no idea what the ice could be. If we do red team run archives, we're going to end our turn on 3 credits on Penny Shaver, which I don't love putting ourselves in that situation. I just don't know what else we do with this hand. Like, red team causes you to do some bad stuff. Kentucky's quite welcoming to new people. Just read the NSG articles on Runners and Corps. Yeah, I haven't actually read through the Learn to Play documents because, well, I haven't needed to, but I probably should just to know what it looks like. Hey, Melanomi, I also hope to be able to VTuber myself and record the Learn to Play tutorials sometimes this month. Wish me luck on the timing. Yo, I think that's a thing that's going to happen. I just got these in the mail today, actually. And I think Pat and I are going to do a run through of Learn to Play. Is this mutually assured destruction, or this is just what red team does to you? I think this is what red team does to you. If we nuke and draw, we can't do anything. This is where red team is pretty rough. If we face check and it's a Winchester, things are pretty bad. So I think we just do like Nuka. Use Nuka, we'll on 7 cards in hand, Penny Shaver, install one. Ugh. This is the ice on turn like 3 and we want to install Side Hustle. It's like, I don't think we do it. Maybe we do and we believe in ourselves. It's only 1 credit. How bad could 1 credit be? How much money could 1 credit be, Michael? Boomerang transfer is also like super reasonable here. We'd have to float a tag, which I'm not comfortable doing. Okay, let's just set up and say that this is worth something. What are we discarding though? Pinhole? Bravado? Yeah, Bravado into Winchester's bad. We could Bravado Archives. If it's like a Maskarovka, it's rough. I'm assuming there's like some bad sentries or something. Like, I don't know. Solomir plays like Pulse and stuff. Like Solomir is like one of the weird, interesting deck builders that plays with some of the ice that you don't want to run into. I like Solomir's list. I'm going to throw out the Pinhole and hate myself in like next turn. Like 10 bananas. They don't have to be successful runs? No, they don't, Drew. They probably won't be. I just don't want to face check into something awful. I just don't know what it is. Green mail. Okay, so Biowak is now a face check we have to be ready for. So I think we're just gonna figure out what money looks like. Side hustle, gaming. Gonna get our penny shavers. Give us your credits. Click PS instead of clicking for credit. If that's what we did last turn, yeah, we should have clicked for... Yeah, we should have clicked the PS, 100%. I'm forgetting to do that. I'm so not used to Penny Shaver. Afshar. Cursed. Unexpensive res. So we're going to break the end of the run because we can't break both of these when it's on HQ. Card's good. Yep. We have no way to duck the credit, which would have been fun. We lose 1. It's not too affable, so you lose as much as you can. We get the access here. Ugh. Gross. Someone's trying to hurt us. Good thing you didn't click penny. Yeah, calculate. I think we're just gonna click penny and clear the tag. We're just too slow at setting up. All these like cards we're installing is like not breakers. And that's been a problem. At least Solomir's money is pretty bad. That's the thing though, you have to watch out. When green mail into Plutus or green mail into like Biowax, suddenly you get 4 credits and that's something. So far Bengun hasn't really mattered. Hedge Fund and Daniela go back. Daniela is a reason to maybe Pinhole. So far we haven't installed Face Up. I'm actually pretty sure this will be like a... do we face check into a Biowac? How bad is it? We lose everything, don't we? Is it like lose a program? Lose a resource? But I'm pretty sure this has to be an anthill or it has to be... Even an Eminent is likely. I think there's a chance that Solomir will install an agenda and not do the ability. I mean, we can Boomerang Bravado it. Probably fine. Shibboleth Go HQ is also pretty good. Problem is Pinhole how? Yeah, that's actually a good point. We need to contest the money because the ice can't be rezzed. Unless the Massacre of a sad boomer. Yeah, show me a big old Biowac. Show me a Biowac. Show me a Logjam? Biowac for free? Yeah, Biowac for free. Sick. That's still good. We'll just break the end of the runs. Oh no, actually No, yeah, we break the end the run, and then the end the run's gonna happen is all I'm gonna say. We're not good at this. If we played instead of Carbon Revolver, we'd actually have like more teeth into this. So we'll break these, and obviously like we don't make the decision because this is the Corp card. So when the Corp resolves the subroutines, Solomir makes the choice. So Solomir is gonna end the run. Yeah, Free Walk is good though. I think this is gonna be an Eminent for sure. Okay. So we can run HQ. I think we're just gonna have to keep drawing here. We didn't as, unfortunately. We could as for a Docklands. That will kind of force this Eminent to go in a single direction, which is not good. I think we just need to draw. Next turn we can do Shibboleth, Docklands, run HQ with the transfer. That'd be pretty good. Unfortunately, no as that turn. Rip inside job. Yeah. Oh, it's an Antil. That's really bad for us. Very not good for us. Losing inside job is actually something I haven't heard anyone talk about. And it's like, I don't know. I know that we didn't look through any of the meta decks from this last weekend, but I know like Deep Dive Sable is going to be very good. And I think Sako was talking about a fair bit, seems kind of unhappy with how powerful it is. And the fact that now we just have triple S to Brado for centrals is kind of more cursed, if you ask me. But yeah, you can't really make this play against inside job. Why crack the boomerang on the BOAC? It was going to end the run regardless. Because you can choose to trash a program. You're right, we could decide not to, but then we lose a red team or a side hustle. Right? It's just protecting one of these, which maybe isn't worth it, arguably. But the boomerang on the BOAC is kind of useless anyways. We can maybe keep it on the table to be able to like do something cool with our friend Knickknack, but I think protecting the resource is probably fine. You can always have a backup plan, yeah, but then you have to run through this once. All right, Antil's good. We need to sweep HQ here, so we will. I think we will transfer and then clear the tag. We died a bite. We died a bite. I guess we died a bite. Yeah, because the Corp decides. It's not up to us. We can't choose to end the run, so the Corp will trash one of our resources. We have to now face check very carefully. We've installed this because another BOAC will hit it. Trigger side hustle twice. Yeah, you're right. Trick shot. Mind you, in startup with side hustle seems pretty okay. I hope we don't die to bite. That'd be pretty embarrassing. I do think that's one of the better Bangoon cards. We're not drawing enough. Nice. Spin Doctor. Okay, Bangoon hasn't mattered. I'll trash the second spin. We'll remove the tag. So one card in hand, unknown. Seen Time of Influence, aren't sure. What about Space for Bite? We only seen Nico. It's only 2. We've seen like 4x influence. It could still be on it. I think it should be. The question is also like if they're running Public Trail or any of that other sort of stuff. All right, not next round. We get side hustle. That's a good repair. The problem is we can't face check safely because of BOAC. Oh, actually, no, we can because you can't res it. I'm worried about like Ballista and other stuff. So let's find something. I hate this. Oh yeah, we saw Daniela. You're right. Where did Daniela go? Oh god, she went back. So it's either we install open market or Nuka. I think we have enough money that we're gonna go for the Nuka. God, we made the deck so much better by playing 2 Nukas. If you can't tell. Drawing your one of twinning seems like an issue. At least we have Docklands. Sorry, Jim. I'm not sure I follow most of that at all. I don't play any Warhammer stuff. So apologies if I'm not interacting with it. I don't know what most of that stuff is at all. I haven't played any miniatures games. No Bangoon face up? Likely if it's an Eminent, I think you just install it face down. We're just glaciering up. If we don't get a Chesvin or Breakers, let's rock. Oh god, why do we build this deck like this? Okay, it's okay. Economy turn, economy turn, economy turn. I think we won't have to greet this open market. Let's just get the money. Double dipping on ads. Look at our run triggers just kind of dying on the vine. Oh, sick. We got a boomerang and no breakers. Nico. Good money. Don't know. Maybe this is a mad deck. Credit, gov sub. Okay. What do you do with big money? I kind of want to run HQ. I would consider boomeranging Bravado HQ. Yeah, I think that's fine. If we lose the second boomerang to like a 3 subroutine ice, we're in a bad spot. Doesn't feel like Matt has a home in Bangoon. I'm just trying to understand what's in front of me. I'm just like word associating. That's all I'm trying to do here. Like, I don't know. I think I'd rather bravado than red team. I think we can get blown out by a logjam here. Or even a Pharaohs, we'll take the tag. So drawing no breakers, no means your overall chance of drawing breakers can only increase. Install side hustle. Ooh, you're right. Second side hustle would have been fine there. The fact that we're a run-based deck, but we can't get our breakers consistently is an issue. Okay, Winchester, we have big money here, so we can boomerang this. Trasher program's pretty bad. I think we just let the end the run trace go through and see what happens here. I don't want to let the money differential. So we'll see again if you spend through this. If Solomir boosts a bunch of money into this, it's still fine. We can't break this. Yeah, it might just be Glacier. Like, Nico campaign kind of makes sense. Notice how it's not on auto campaign, which is an option for the same influence. I'll just leave that there. You deal with that the way that you want to deal with that information. So yeah, second side hustle, I kind of like it here. Getting in is actually threatening. We see most of the hand. We don't know any cards in HQ. And Solomir doesn't want to jam until the Nico's finished, so agendas will be stuck in hand here. We also just want to find and trash things if we can find measured responses with 2 spins out. Worried about bite. We have clicks left. Maybe that's a good reason that we didn't install the side hustle, but we do have a click left. Better option for the same influence? Yeah, exactly, for the same influence. 3? Yeah, this is worth 1 because of the bravado. I don't know how the math perfectly hits 12 here. Some people say this is a deer. Yeah, whatever. But I'm excited for Thursday, right? I don't know. It's hard to tell whether who's roasting who here. I think we might be agreeing. There's no way of telling. This means we actually don't have credits to access if we hit a measured. Maybe that's actually the math here, is that Solomir puts us on exactly not enough credits to trash anything. Descent? Okay, that's fine. This is the second Descent? Argus Crackdown. Very cool. Can't trash that. So this is a cool card. Makes more sense with the 2-pointers, which is I like a lot more than 5-3s as well, because you can do install advance Argus. That's cool. We get 8 credits. We'll shuffle that back. Have we as this turn? I wish there was a way on JNet to tell if you've done your once per turn triggers. I wish it highlighted the cards. So if we want to install Class Act, we can install Open Market. That's probably a bit better. It's kind of like playing the sure gamble, but we get as this turn. It looks like we have as this turn. Why is it asking for 2 credits? Have we as this turn? Wait, hold on. We need to know if we as. Oh yeah, because we installed Boomerang. So we're not going to do this. I'm going to install and undo this. I'm just going to play the sure gamble. Because we already as this turn. Because we installed the Boomerang. Of course we did. So I'm going to just play the gamble here. And then we'll have as triggers. This might be a bit greedy. Oh, it is greedy, actually, turns out. Boomer. Rohit, I don't think I've said hi. Hopefully you're well. We could run? I need to find the Carmen. Let's just install the Class Act. I don't care. Guess we should open market first. We'll do it next turn. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. So we should have undone the hedge. We'll just install the Class Act. It's fine. We're going to have enough things to install. Hey, boss. Sorry to be rude before having a weird day. It's okay. What's the best use for Julie Moreira and how many per deck? I play no Julie. I think I've seen people play some Julies. I think people like Julie sometimes in Seb decks. I do think you can play Julie in some of the Shaper decks that have like telework and things that are click intensive. People could argue you could play Julie in this deck because we have Nuka and Red Team and stuff like that. It might be worth it. I just feel like it's a bit too little for a slot. Trios was lacking letters, thus ranking as a C tier card in the tier list of the best tier list. I wonder if the line is tanking a hardware trash for guaranteeing a Boomerang access. Hedge fund. Sorry, draw credit hedge fund. So next turn, Solomir's jamming on 20 credits. So when we draw, we gain credits and money. We have a Kurapira. I'm scared of face checking because a Bioac will be hard rezzed for 14, and we haven't found our Carmen yet. So we really just need to get money on the table. Jim, at this point you're spamming chat. I'm really sorry. None of this makes a lot of sense. Apologies if that comes off as rude. Okay, 20 credits thinking. There has to be agendas in hand at this point. We know a Crackdown, we know a Descent. Face check into Bioac is bad. Into anything that trashes programs is game losing. We have to be like careful. We could Boomerang Archives, but then Solomir probably doesn't res, so I think we just like set up and do nothing. If we run, we get 6 credits in a card draw, which is filtered, which is quite nice. But I think here we just set up, we just like do Kurapira, install open market, click for credits. We could Boomerang Bravado and just bounce, but that seems like such a waste of resources. We definitely need to be able to deal with the BOAC next turn, and maybe we should have kept our class act to be able to burst up. Let's just install cards, I guess. I don't think the side hustle is going to pay off. I'd rather have the credits in a credit pool. What happens if there's an SDS on the table? That's the thing that makes me the most uncomfortable. Remember the penny instead of clicking for credit? Oh my god, yeah. Hold on. Gonna penny instead. This is how much I play Penny Shaver. I'll get better. Some people have argued that sometimes you shouldn't have Penny Shaver because you're going to use it later, but like it's the same as clicking for credit, if not better, strictly better. So I don't think you need to greet it. All right, Solomir has to jam here. Descent, okay, shuffling cards back into R&D. Does Dean still play? No, last I heard Dean was playing either Star Wars or Flesh and Blood. I think he's playing Flesh and Blood. All right, Jim, I'm going to give you a little timeout here for 5 minutes. $23 is scary. Like, I'm not sure what to do with it. Above the law here, I guess we would need to fire a side hustle. I'm just kind of in a bad spot. We only have 2 boomerangs in rotation because we lost one to the BOAC. How bad is scaring? Like, 23 cards could be anything. Dean is in the Star Wars games right now. Okay, super cool. I ran into someone the other day who knew Dean. He was like, hey, do you know Dean then? I'm like, yeah. They knew of what Netrunner was. Okay, so if we nuke it, we can find a breaker. If we run, we have money. This might not be an agenda if that's the case. What did the scent show? Did the scent show anything? Wow, just a draw card. Wow, okay. I think I want to run HQ here. Rudy loves Flesh and Blood. Have you played? I've played Flesh and Blood. Yeah, I used to play a fair bit back in the day when I worked full time. I think the game is way too expensive. So I only go to like pre-releases and play sealed and stuff like that. The game's fun. It's a good game engine. South Night's gone from the format it is, Emily. It was a system update card reprinted from Honor and Profit back in like 2013. Okay, what are we doing? How do we make a run here? Face check into Sentry is too bad. I think we start with a Nuka draw. I think we can dump our hand if we need to. None of these cards are what we want. Oh my god, Knick-Knack is bad. Transfer of Wealth doesn't really do that much. If we run, we draw. I'm bottoming Knick-Knack, I think. Is this what our deck has become? We need the twinning. We need to just set up the twinning and hope this is not an above the law. If it's an above the law, it's not the worst case, I guess. So we can install the twinning. We can install Knick-Knack for credit. And we can just sit here and do nothing. Charges the twinning. I guess we install the Chesva and hope. But above the law hits our twinning or hits a side hustle. One of them is actually worse than the other one. Also nice would be Curse and Oko. Yeah, it'd be really good. Double Advanced Crackdown. Sick. Cool. So not on Hermes. Feels bad. So this is whenever the runner makes a successful run on a server protected by ice due to meat damage. So if this is an SDS, we're cooked because we lose a breaker. Losing the Kurapira is a disaster. Now, any server we run, like we have to be able to run this. Luckily, we'll actually draw a couple cards while running. We'll run Side Hustle, we'll run this. We might be able to deal with this remote server. The problem is that we just need our killer. If we have our killer, we may be able to deal with the server. Because it's 4 meat damage and a tag. It could be 6 damage with the BOAC. The thing is, we'll be on more cards in hand. Knick-Knack draws, I think. Yeah, we're going to get rid of the red team. I think that's really good. Aren't the only FG cards printed that are legit right now is Hedge Fund and Sure Gamble? E-Dog, technically there's also False Lead, Colossus, Self-Modifying Code, Daily Cast is banned, and Cerebral Overrider are reprints in Ashes. But that's mostly it, yeah. SDS is really bad. Oh my god, the bank doesn't have text. You're right. What is going on here? Is this the good Bangoon deck? You don't do anything? Okay, we have the top deck. Do we have mutual favor in this deck? We haven't seen one. We have no mutual favor in the deck. Okay, hold on. I've been trying to draw a mutual favor this whole damn game. We have no mutual favor. We have one draw to find our killer. It's Carmen. We have one draw. Oh my god. I was like, why is there not a mutual... Never mind, we found it. We're the best. If we run this, we gain 10 credits. Daily Cast is banned? Yeah, I got banned in the last ban list. How's it going, Oscar? Is 10 credits enough? Sits with your philosophy of Bangoon does nothing. Yeah, I know. Knick-knack. The red team. Side hustle. Continue. 11 credits. That's enough to break 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not 2 BOX. We could have boomeranged the outermost. Actually, it might have been fair. Never mind. We found it. It made me spit on my drink. Yeah, we can take any of the damage here. We don't care. I was wondering if that red team was just knick-knack fodder. Descent. Sick. You know it. I mean, one of us iced up. I think it's nearly Shaper only, but starts every green deck with 2 knick-knack, 3 Colets, and 3 Mutes, 3 Sandwich Up, 3 Environmental Testing. For what it's worth, the Decklist of the week right now actually doesn't play knick-knack. I don't know if it should. I think knick-knack is like definitely not Pawn Shop. It's a fun card. It's definitely worse than Pawn Shop, but it's cool if you're running. I just think that deck doesn't run as much. If you have good reasons to run, like in Daywee, it's 3 of. I think it's that good, but... Do we die to multiple copies of... Oh, we need to draw once. Otherwise, we die to... We can die here to double measured response. I think that's going to be an issue. We straight die to double measured response. I'm assuming this is like an orbital. Yeah, if Soul Mages has double measured, we're cooked because we don't have a class act here. I'm pretty committed to knick-knack being the only Shaper engine going. I do think Shaper has a pretty... It feels like a pretty stark limitation on what they can play for economy. There's not a lot of Shaper engines. I think the only Shaper econ engine is Muse Coalescence. You might not need knick-knack though. I do think there's a chance Spec Work is just a better card. Your option for Shaper econ is 3 Fermenters, 3 Sandwich Chips. Oh yes, and Fermenter, which I think that deck plays. But I think Spec Work Fermenter is like the only Shaper engine. I think Telework is too slow. Onacom is so dead and even importing stuff hurts. I think Onacom is losing Trick Shot, Diesel functionally, and Creative Commission hurt Shaper Onacom so much. I think you'll still see Onacom maybe in Anarch builds, but yeah, it's poof. I would not rush out to play Shaper Onacom. Luckily you have like some very good consoles to play. Okay, this is really not loading well. Yeah, Fermenter seems like the best right now. We could die. Like if Soul Mage just holds double measured, we're cooked. We might actually let this score out. I just think SDS is a problem. Onacom is better than Anarch. Yeah, much better than Anarch. I guess we have to refresh. Okay, Soulmere, I'm leaving. I'll come back. Yeah, we might just die here. Face down agenda, advance. We'll watch it better than anything else. Tempting reconnect. Oh, we're cooked. Please wait. One of our servers is currently on fire. I hope we keep the game. Okay, we're back. Where is Solomir? It's a weird thing about Topan too, is like, should you play Onacom? I'm like, it kind of works, but like, you don't want to play a lot of events in Onacom and Topan because it doesn't work with Topan's text. We back. Creative Commission, but from 0 instead of 1 with no extra cooks. Rejig is Creative Commission, but sometimes much better. Oh yeah, you can play Rejig. People in chat really wanted me to play Rejig. I hadn't got to it. Yeah, it's really there. Yeah, we don't have enough money here. If this is an SDS, we can let it go through. This is the problem with Bangoon, is like if your card was face down and we knew this was an SDS, we wouldn't run it. This is an SDS, we needed to run it. But the fact that you can tell me it's an SDS is so bad. Janet's borderline unplayable. It was okay the last 2 hours. Right now, it's the worst it's been. But I think there's more games than there used to be. It's a Basalt, okay. So we lost 2 cards. Oh, wait, no, we have 5 in hand. Because there's no Bangoon text. I thought we were going to have 4 in hand. So we need a triple. No, you still need a double. And measure response comes back here. Spin doctor comes back. Okay. So all we have to do is get the most money as fast as possible. We die to... So our options are run HQ and win. Or... Okay, so if we hit penny shaver, we still lose. If there's double measured. So it's probably better that we try and win. If we try and win, we should run Winchester, which we do 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have to break 1 for Afshar. So we're 1 credit short of breaking Afshar, if I'm not mistaken. We could let the hardware trash fire, but the thing is we died to double measure response, so we might as well go for the win. Oh no, then we died to single measure response because we take damage. Okay, I'm just gonna take 2 credits. We died to double measure response. If we knew this was Basalt Spire, we wouldn't have ran it. That's a Bangoon issue. It's like, if you know what the agenda is, you'll decide whether to run it or not. If that was an SDS, we lose. If it was a Basalt, we can let Solmir score it out. I don't care, I don't think. It's not good for us, but it's not gonna lose us the game. Rejigging a cold install a DZ for free, then saving a credit on the cold reinstalls hype. But Bar, are you playing Lilypad or no? No, we can't afford a trash measured. I just want to steal an agenda and win the game. It looks like that's a spin doctor. So Solomir could find double measured here and we could win. Lose, excuse me. So why play Bangoon and install face down? I agree. I don't know. So that's the spin doctor. So double measured, we lose. So far, Bangoon has done nothing. Yeah, we lose. Okay, GG. Yeah, blank ID. Straight up blank ID. And actually installing a face down was better. Do you ever use the ID box? How do we beat that? Installing Classic last click. We installed all this sort of stuff where we could just play like good stuff criminal and like have money and run. But yeah, this is what I mean is like, oh man, I don't like it at all. You're supposed to beat me? No, Solomir, like I can't. I'm assuming you draw into it with Spin Doctor, but like we just don't have the money together. This deck is running no mutual favors. I think that's the biggest issue is that we could not get our Carmen down. I have to draw for it. And we have 13 cards left in this deck. If I'm already at 2 points, okay. It's my favorite blank ID, but it's incredibly blank, yeah. Like if this was any other ID, we'd have a worse shot. Yeah, Steelskin, you don't survive unless you have double Steelskin, right? Because you go from 5, if they hit the Steelskin, which they're likely to do, then you go to 3. So you need double Steelskin. Stone Chip, you also need double. The biggest thing is just to have more money, right? Like if we just have more money, we have to pay 8 credits because Solomir could triple measured, but that's very unlikely. But this is what I mean. It's like, I think this is the 3rd best, if not 4th best Wayland to do this sort of game plan. And if we weren't playing around this, which we were. If I'm at 2 points and the face of agenda puts either of us at threat 4 for measured. Yeah, I do think scoring your first face down makes sense. Like showing an eminence, I'm not gonna run it. I'm gonna try and like pressure an antil. I'll like even pinhole it if you don't install a face up. Really, really weird. Early breaker 4 stalls that giant pile of court money. Yes. Yeah. If we had early breakers, we actually can contest and then we actually make our money. Like the second side hustle, we actually just lost credits on. We just need to be at 8 credits here and we survive. We would take the first 4 damage and then see the second card, I think. Yeah. So anyways, I think I like that we played against enough Wayland to show like what the issue is. This deck has issues. Like I think this deck is so in on its run-based synergy that we have to play more copies of Mutual or any copies of Mutual just to get our rig down. I'm assuming we don't play 3 side hustle. Maybe we play 2. I don't know. But like we just need to be able to hit the table running. Was hoping you weren't holding a second pinhole. I got no pinhole. Oh no, I have 1 pinhole and I threw it out. Because I'm like, I don't know what we pinhole in this matchup. I guess maybe Daniela. Cool. It's 4 o'clock. I think we have to call it here now. We have an event to go to. I have to sleeve up some decks, have dinner, all that sort of stuff. I think it starts at like 6:30. If you install face down in Bangoon, does the eyebrow waggle have double the power compared to the eyebrow waggle when playing PE? That's the issue. I don't think Oko eye waggles. Like Oko is just like so straightforward. It's like so brute force, I mean. You know what I mean? Thoughts on Trebuchet and Bangoon, steal prevention, but still has access? I don't know. I think paying 7 for Trebuchet is going to be a problem. I think people are expecting you to play some sort of like trashy ice. And by trashy, I mean, you know what I mean. But my guess is paying 7 for this is not super easy and giving bad pub is not great. If you're going fast enough, maybe you can get away with it, but they'll just jack out. So this is a functional end to run. It's not bad, but for 7 credits, like, I don't know. That's a lot of money it feels like right now. It's maybe it's good. I don't know. Maybe it's good on centrals. I don't know. I'm worried that people are going to like slow down and play roughneck repair squads and actually play the sort of agenda suite. Starts at 6. Oh, geez. Okay, I gotta go. Where's the heart react button? It's right there at the bottom. Is it not there? Did I hide it? I don't think I hide it. I hit it. There it is. Thanks so much for hanging out on a Tuesday. Hopefully y'all are doing well. All these names here and more help support the Metropole Grid. Oh, wait. We updated this. Hold on. One second. There's a new one. It's not even the newest though, which is kind of hype. I'll be honest. So if we do this, it's too big. Yeah, we're zoomed in. Hold on. It's behind there the whole time. I hope I didn't spoil the thing. It's behind there. It needs to be. Have fun tonight. Thank you, Bob. I'm kind of stressed about it. Hey, Cody, thanks for the stream. Thanks to all these names here and more that support the Metropole Grid so we can do stream stuff like this, video content, all this sort of great stuff. Takes time and effort. All these names here and our Daily Cast patrons help support the channel a lot. We have 2 patrons just recently joined. One of them is Mark Alexandre Dubé. I know that name. Thanks so much for supporting. That's the Sure Gamble tier. And also Mike Heilman joining as the Daily Cast. Thank you so much. If you want to support the channel, you can find a link in the description. We're on Patreon. Any amount of support is incredibly appreciated. And otherwise, if you want to leave a like on the video, that also helps a heck of a lot. We put up 3 hours of content yesterday, me and Jeff talking about all the corp cards, which you can enjoy the tier list. It's really quite fun. Tomorrow, I'll be technically on stream if you want to watch the backroom deals, which I'll link in the description. That's the same time slot usually as what we stream on the evenings. Actually, it's a bit earlier. It's about 7:15 Eastern. That'll be tomorrow. I'm not going to be playing. I'm actually going to be doing some production, so you're not going to see me, but it's a fun thing that I wanted to do to help out that channel so that the folks that are there can play some games. Nice stream. Thank you. That video was so good. Glad you liked it. Kind of all that Bangan decks I've seen so far look like any other Wayland deck, just with Bangan as an idea. I believe this idea needs a particular deck build around. Yeah, I don't think we have the cards yet. I think the cards will come. Any feedback on the Bangan deck? Did you feel like the runner deck didn't play out? I think we were locked out. We're a run-based deck, Solomir, so I couldn't run, and that was a problem. I just couldn't face check after I installed 2 breakers, and that's a problem. I don't know. I need to see more of the deck itself. I do think you have the money, at least at a minimum, to allow you to threaten the double to triple measured response, which is better than all the other Bangan decks I've seen that are struggling to play a single measured response. I think there's something to that as well. Toronto name PC soon. Oh yeah, that's around the corner too. We showed off a name PC. There's also like a CTK in Montreal next weekend, which unfortunately I won't be there for, but it's on the, I want to say the 10th. Toronto is on the 24th and 25th of May. Vancouver, Mega Cities is coming up soon. Toronto also announced their Mega City, which I believe is on August 2nd or 3rd, is the beginning of August. And of course here in Montreal at the end of August, we have the America's, very importantly, America's Continentals. Hopefully you'll be there for that. Money is such a big thing to solve. I imported Nico's because the deck is so credit hungry. I wonder if you could just play Regolith and just jam it, Solomir, because it doesn't seem like you have that many things to do with your clicks. We love you. Thank you. Thanks for the stream. Hey, thanks for dropping in. And with that, we'll be back on Thursday evening with Pat. No, not with Pat. We'll just be Thursday evening doing something. Pat will show up at a later time. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you in the next one. Ciao.